Alright, we should be live, just getting things set up on TikTok. And we should be good to go. That's so funny. What are the odds every caller will be an overly confident 18 to 28-year-old male? Surprisingly, it will be high, but surprisingly low, perhaps. So we shall see. We shall see. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. I got a phone call from a friend, and actually, you know this friend. At least I hope you do. Howdy, everybody. Let's see how. Let's see if we even get any callers on this topic. This topic has been pretty dead lately. For whatever reason. Oh, I need to turn off subscriber only mode on YouTube, I think. No, okay, it should be good there. Okay, I guess the I thought Thursdays were normally MAGA's anti-science. I'm probably Thursdays are kind of the wild card day. It's kind of just based on my how I'm feeling. The close threshold. Do I want the close threshold lower or higher? Nose is healing up well. I'm currently putting silicone stuff on it twice a day to hopefully help the scar, because it's not healing up, right? It's gonna scar, so. How bigoted of you just to say something is false. There's no truth, just death. That's a take. That's a take. What does creationism mean? Thinking that the universe was created. You can't believe you have a Green Party hat? It's one of my pride and joys, you know. Why do you keep getting banned? I don't know. If you keep getting banned, stop doing the thing that got you banned. Please reveal our community gift. Okay. Okay, let's see what the community gift is. I don't actually know how to do this. Live goal, maybe? Okay. Probably should do more than one rose, but that's not what you wanted. Is there a gift gallery? No. Is it under fan club? No. I don't know how to do this. Do you think that theistic evolution is self-contradictory? Well, depends on how it's framed. Perhaps not. But the question is whether or not is what the evidence is, right? All right, I don't know how to set up the live gift. It's not working. Or rather, I'm just incompetent. So I'm gonna bring up the first guest. George, how's it going?
Good afternoon. Hi. I'm not a physicist, but it seems, I mean, I just don't comprehend it. It's not within the realm of my understanding how the universe can come from a bang or a small little piece of matter. So my question is that...
George, do you disagree with the prompt?
what exactly is creationalism? That the universe was created, you said?
Yeah. The universe was created by some agent.
Yeah, I disagree with that, yeah.
Okay, so you think that it was created by some agent?
No, I think it's false. I think it wasn't created.
Then
I
why'd
don't
you
have
come
an
up?
answer as to how it came about. My question is the Big Bang Theory or people, I mean, is that still in effect? Is that...
Yes, but probably not the way that you understand it. But look,
Yeah, I don't
today is
understand
not
it.
today is not Ask a Physicist Day. I'm looking for debates here, so I'm gonna let you go. People versus reading. Yeah, I've never had to define creationism either. Like, is this a foreign concept for? I mean, it might be a foreign concept for non-Americans, I suppose. But it's like everybody knows what creationism is in the United States. Do you mean non-deistic creationism? I mean any kind of creationism. All right, so I know that there's a way to set up a viewer wishes. What's that? I'm just clicking buttons at this point. Okay, no, not that. Blitz, should I buy some more MTG cards without telling my partner, or is that a bad idea? Well, look. Goodness, badness, it's all just subjective anyway. But you know what's not subjective? How much better your deck will be when you get that guy as Cradle. I'm just saying. Can you raise the deck up a little bit? What deck? I'm confused. What deck? What's not subjective is neolibertarian phalangism. Neolibertarian phalangism is by definition subjectivism. It turns out. You don't play MTG, does that make you a bad person? No, not necessarily. All right, we'll give it a few more minutes, and if this doesn't bite, then we'll change topics again. We have AI Ghoul, or Al Ghoul, maybe? Maybe that's their name. Al Ghoul, how's it going?
Hey man, what's up?
Not a whole lot. Al Ghoul, do you think the universe was created?
Sorry?
Do you think the universe was created?
Yes.
Why?
Well, I didn't join. I wanted to ask a question.
Okay, but you recognize that the topic is creationism is false, join if you disagree. This is a debate live stream, which means if you didn't come up to do the debate thing, then why are you here?
Well, I'm sorry, I just wanted to ask a question. I was asking if, I was just curious if we increase Earth's weight by giving birth, like making children.
No, Earth's weight does not increase. All right, let's bring up Lafta. I don't know why people have a hard time reading. Lafta, how's it going?
Hey, what's up, man?
Not a whole lot. Lafta, what shape, sorry. Do you think the universe was created?
I think so.
All right. I don't. Why do you think so?
Well, I have multiple reasons. I have a religious and a scientific reason.
Okay. Well, I mean, we can go whichever way you want.
Okay, well, how about we start with the Big Bang, and then later, if I start losing that, we'll switch to the religion.
Sure. I just want to get it on record that if we do start shifting to the religion thing, that is you acknowledging that you're losing.
Yeah, but just because I'm losing doesn't mean I'm wrong, you know? You could lose to someone.
No,
who's
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Anyway, continue.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's talk about the Big Bang.
Okay, no problem. The Big Bang.
Mm-hmm.
You give it a little take, and I'll give it a little take after.
Yeah, the Big Bang says nothing about whether the universe had a beginning or not. That's my take.
Really? I thought like the Big Bang was the first point of time where we see light.
No, that's not really how it's understood by scientists.
So then what is it?
What I said. That it doesn't point to
No,
whether or
you
not
said
there's a
it,
beginning.
you said what it's not.
Okay,
You
so
said
what it
what
is
not.
it's a model of the expansion of the universe, starting from a hot dense state and ending at the current state.
Okay, so it's the first time we see heat, not light.
First time we see heat.
Yeah, like the
Well,
furthest point back in time where we see heat.
Heat and light, they're just two different things, two different parts of the electromagnetic spectrum. So we can see the kind of afterglow of the Big Bang from the cosmic microwave background radiation. But that's neither heat nor light, it's more like radio waves.
Okay. But how do we like detect them?
With radio antenna.
Okay, I thought it was with heat.
No.
All right. So is there a point in time before then?
Possibly.
Possibly. So
Oh,
we
well,
don't.
wait, hold on. So there's definitely a point in time before the CMBR was emitted. Whether or not there's a point in time before this hot dense state, maybe. I suspect probably.
Oh yeah, no. Obviously, I'm talking about the hot dense state, not the
Yeah,
detection.
I suspect maybe, and most physicists will agree with me on that.
Most atheist scientists. Is that what a theist is?
Most physicists.
Oh, physicists. Okay. Okay. You mind if I do a quick Google search just so I can see what Google says? Like, what
Sure.
exactly?
Go ahead and do a Google search.
Let it load up real quick. Yeah, man. But I was under the conception I thought that scientists thought the Big Bang is where everything first started.
That was maybe true 40 years ago. It hasn't been true since then.
Somebody's Lathe of Heaven said switch to religious argument. That's funny. But yeah, the Google is loading up.
Go ahead and do the Google.
I'm gonna search up, is the Big Bang the first point of time according to science?
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to pull up a survey of physicists. Okay?
Okay. The AI overview says the Big Bang is the earliest point of our time in our universe that science can currently observe and model, but it is not necessarily the absolute beginning of time itself.
Okay. So, sound good?
Yeah, but how do we know it's not necessarily the beginning of time?
Because it doesn't tell us anything about that.
Okay, let me ask the AI.
Look, if I wanted to debate AI, I would.
Okay, I see. Okay, you want to switch to the religious argument then?
It's up to
'Cause
you.
We're not really going to...
It's up to you, but
yeah,
you said that you wanted to talk about science, but it just sounds like you probably don't know the science.
I mean, I don't know too much of the science, but I thought science was agreeing with me. Since when was it? Did it change or something?
40 years ago.
40 years ago.
Yeah.
So what did they teach me in school? I mean, that's what they taught me.
It's outdated.
Pretty sure. Yeah, I'm not 40 years old, but... All right,
So,
why do you believe the universe is not created? What, you believe it's internal?
I take created to mean to be a active action that an agent takes. The universe might have a beginning or not. That's to be determined. But my view is just that there wasn't an entity that created it.
Oh, so you're basically saying it's not created by God or something? That's what you mean?
Or it's not a simulation created by some sort of simulator. It's
Okay,
not
yeah,
something
that's
like
a
that.
little bit stupid. That's a little bit unless you're saying God created the simulation. But yeah. So you're not arguing that it doesn't have a. Do you believe the universe has a point in time?
You mean a beginning?
Yeah, beginning.
I'm
beginning,
agnostic about it.
So you don't know. You don't have any proof for that's.
I don't
true
think
or
that
false?
we have evidence one way or the other.
Okay. So yeah, so then we might as well switch to the religious debate because that's what we're basically arguing. Unless you're talking to like some guy who believes we're in a simulation.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Humbly recognizing that if we're switching topics, that means that you're losing. But go ahead.
Well, now it's a little bit different because I had when I said that I thought you were arguing something else. You get what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. But so you don't believe in God, right?
No.
But you do believe in like certain you think like stuff like Buddhism could be true, right? I think I spoke with you before.
Buddhism. I mean, it depends on the kind of Buddhism that we're talking about.
Buddhism.
That's what you said, not me.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, you said certain parts of them could be true or something?
It depends on what kind of Buddhism we're talking about.
Okay. And how did you come to the conclusion that God isn't true or real?
Well, I haven't been given particularly compelling arguments, and the arguments that I have heard for at least like a classical conception of God or against a classical conception of God seem pretty compelling to me. For example, it seems like that there is some sort of tension between a timeless God existing that is responsible for creating or being the foundation of the universe and time existing at all. That there seems like there's some tension there. There seems like there's some tension between a being existing that has a mind and yet doesn't have any sort of body. So there's a lot of tension, and that leads me to conclude that this is probably just not the correct worldview.
Well, we don't know if he has a body or not, and we don't know if his body is.
Oh, he can't have a body if bodies are made of material things,
Well,
right?
we don't know if his body is made of material things. You get what I
It
mean?
wouldn't be a body if it wasn't made of material things.
Well, we're kind of applying our logic to him. You know what I mean?
Do you think that logic doesn't apply to all things?
No, I'm saying there's different forms of logic. You know?
Like what?
I mean, do you believe the multiverse could be true?
Depends on what kind, but sure.
Not like every single thing that ever happened could happen, but I'm saying like there could be possible like different laws of physics. And
Sure.
Different. Okay. So you're trying to describe your laws of physics when it only makes sense in this
I'm not
place.
talking about laws of physics. I'm talking about things like objects being material. A body is a kind of object. Objects are material. So I take it that you can't really have a body if it's immaterial.
Okay, what do you think consciousness is?
I don't know, but I suspect that it's probably some sort of emergent phenomenon of the brain.
Like some motherboard or something?
More like a CPU, or more like an operating system. But look, what is the reason for thinking that creationism is true? Is it just based off of the existence of a God? And if so, what is the reason for thinking that a God exists? I gave you the reasons why I think a God doesn't
He was
exist.
trying to talk to us, man. God was trying to talk to us a bunch of times.
Well, that's the claim. Why should I think that that's true?
I mean, bro, we got a messenger today, man.
We have a
He's
messenger
claiming to
today? Who's the messenger
Today,
today?
man.
Who?
Abdullah Hashim. Search him up.
Oh, okay. Why should I think that he's telling the truth?
Because he got you a will from the previous person who was appointed by God.
He got to a what?
He got a will.
He got a will. I
Yeah,
don't
and
know. I
no-
don't know what that
and this-
means. What do you
So
mean
look,
he got a
the
will?
Prophet Muhammad, right?
Yeah.
The Prophet Muhammad, you know him, right?
Mhm.
On his deathbed, he said, "Give me a pen and a paper, and I will write for you for something that if you hold on to, you will not go astray." Right? And this is in the Sunni narrations and the Shia narrations.
I thought that Muhammad was illiterate. I thought he couldn't write.
Exactly. This was them trying to hide it, but in their own narrations, they said he wanted to write for something for them. Okay, so then Omar said, "Oh no, the prophet is delirious. I fear he might like write something that will lead people astray, right?" And they got in a big argument, and the prophet said, "No, he kicked them everyone out, right?" And this was like a couple of days before his death. So later
Sure.
on, so the Sunnis they don't have the will because their leader Omar, the person he loved, betrayed the prophet. He tried to hide him, so they're misguided, and this is the majority of sect of Islam. And
I'm
then,
sure.
And then he wrote his will to he dictated to Imam Ali alayhi salam. He said, "After me there will be 12 imams and 12 mahdis." And then he named the 12 imams, and then he named the first mahdi, and he said he has 3 different names, Ahmed, Abdullah, and one like my father's name. So then some guy in Iraq, he claimed to be the first name Ahmed, and he claimed to be the Yamani. And then he went into hiding, and one of his followers, years later, he went up, and then he claimed to be his successor, the Abdullah. So now we have all these people, all the 12 imams came to be in the will, and then the first two of the Mahdis claim to be the will, and right now we're in the second Mahdi.
So this seems super post hoc. Like somebody could just claim that they're the person that you're referring to without actually being the person that you're referring to.
If it did, I mean, if that was true, then what's it called? The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he would have never said that this will is a protection from misguidance. If he thought that any
or
Tom,
he was
Dick, and Harry,
mistaken.
no, if he thought any Tom, Dick, and Harry could just
No,
come
did you
and
just
claim
say
this
no?
will,
Why couldn't he be mistaken?
yeah, let me finish. Because if he thought any Tom, Dick, and Harry could come and just claim this will, then that would have been backfired on him, and he wouldn't have done it in the first place. And plus,
Or he could have been mistaken, or he could have been dumb and thought that nobody would just
Because
anybody claim it, but then he was wrong about that.
I know he's not dumb because he was appointed by Jesus.
What?
And so he was appointed by Jesus.
What?
He was appointed by Jesus, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him.
They lived 600 years apart. How was one
Yeah,
appointed
he
by
wrote,
the other?
He wrote a will. He wrote a will. And he
Jesus
claimed,
wrote a will too.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Where is this will?
Okay. But by the way, we got to go back to the other. We have to go back to the other
The
languages.
pivot. Breakneck pivot.
What?
That's a pivot.
Anyways, so
That's what
I'm
you
gonna.
just did.
No, I said we have to go back to the earliest languages, like not English.
Yeah, which is the earliest language? Don't say Arabic, don't say Arabic, don't say Arabic, don't say Arabic, don't say Arabic. What's the earliest language? You there? When you're off the app, I can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What's the earliest language?
The first, so he spoke three languages. He spoke Hebrew, he spoke Aramaic, and he spoke Greek. But he was dictating the Gospels were written in Greek by his followers.
Okay, so why did you bring up the earliest language?
Because that's what he meant.
What are you talking about?
That's what he meant by
Do
it.
you think the sentences you're saying make sense?
They do make sense. How do they not make sense?
They're just disjointed. You said something about the earliest language, and then you brought up Jesus speaking three languages, and then you said that's what he meant. But
Okay,
I don't know what that is
When I
referring
said
to
earliest
here.
languages, I meant the original, authentic languages that Jesus spoke, not English.
Okay, so where's Jesus's will?
Okay, it's in. Here, let me pull it up real quick. I'm gonna be muted because I'm pulling it up.
Yep, sure.
But by the way, they tried to
I thought you were going to be muted so that you could pull it
I
up.
know. Just one last thing. They tried to change this will. They changed a couple of the
they did.
letters.
Of course they tried to
They
change
did,
as well.
they
Yep,
changed-
sure,
they-
definitely,
okay.
100%.
Okay, I'm gonna pull it up.
Bro has his will on file. He's had his lawyers look at it. You're right, this is a dumb argument, Tom. But let's see where it goes.
Okay, hold on. I'm still pulling it up. I'm gonna try to find it on my computer.
Okay. I need the
By the
Jeopardy
way,
theme
it's the
song.
verse. It's the verse where Jesus says he's gonna send a comforter after him.
Oh, so you're telling me that Muhammad was a comfort man?
Well, that's the word. That's the word they changed. But even then, it works. Comforter. But let's pull it up.
Do you know what a comfort person is?
Look, that's the word they changed.
Oh, okay. So wait, his will was a single sentence?
Look, we had to pull up the whole entire thing in the verse before and after.
Okay, what's the verse?
Let me try to pull it up. I asked ChatGPT which verse was where he said I will send a comforter. I will give me another comforter. Put the comforter.
I love using ChatGPT. I love when people use it.
I mean,
during
it is a good.
I love when people
depending-
use it live in debate.
Yeah, but it's good when you're trying to find a verse or something rather than just trying to read the whole entire Bible from start to finish.
Google
You know what I mean?
Google can do that too.
Okay, but Google is also AI, you know.
Not if you just use the Google links that are provided rather than looking at the AI overview. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that a comfort man is something like a comfort woman.
Not comfort man, it said comforter.
Well, yeah. So you're telling me that Muhammad is a comfort man?
Bro, I don't think you know what a comforter is.
Well, I think I do.
By the way, you know there's multiple definitions of single words, right? Because in Christianity, the comforter means the Holy Spirit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know that that's how they interpret it.
Okay, yeah. But when the comforters come. So basically,
So what's the verse?
where is the verse?
You could have just Googled this. It's literally John 14:16.
There's multiple. There's John 14:16, John 14:26, John 15:26. So I'm
Yeah.
trying to find the exact one.
They are the same. Although John 14:26 says what the Comforter is. It says that it's the Holy Spirit.
So look, you know, the Prophet Muhammad, he claimed to be Ahmed in the Quran. He said that Jesus appointed me, and he said his name is Ahmed.
Cool. Why should I believe that?
And no, I know, but you know what, Ahmed in Arabic,
Tell me.
it translates to the praised ones, or the praised, or the praiseworthy, or like it has a couple like different things. But basically,
Cool.
that's what it means.
How,
And
the
Jesus,
claim
when
that
he
you're
said,
making is that Jesus wrote about him in his will.
wait,
So where's
can I
the
finish?
evidence for this?
So and then Jesus, when he says, I'm trying to find the exact verse. Of course, look at this. Let me turn on my camera. Of course, right when I'm trying to find the verse, it says connection is interrupted. But look, I said, where is the verse in the earliest language where it says parakletos? So basically, there's two things. It says parakletos and parakletos or something like that, and one means like a comforter, while the other means the praised one or something, or the praised.
Do you mean parakleton?
Is that what it is? What does that mean?
Parakleton, which at least if you trust Bible Hub, it means helper.
Helper. Okay, yeah, that's what they changed it to. So this thing, it's one letter away from the praised one. So you can search up
And then
parakletos.
parakletos is the
What does it
helper. Is the helper.
No, okay, so it's a different one. That's the one in the Bible today.
So
But,
parakletos and parakleton, one is helper and the other is the helper. At least
know,
that's how it's
but,
translated on Bible Hub. Do you think that
I
that's
understand,
wrong?
I understand, but that's what's in the Bible today. They
Right.
changed it to parakletos.
Okay, so
But
why do you think that it was changed?
Yeah, so it was changed by Paul because he claimed to be.
Why
to
do you?
be,
No, I'm asking why do you think it's changed? Like, what's the explanation for why you think it's changed?
I'm gonna tell you who changed it, and then I'm gonna tell you why he's changed it. Because I can't tell you why he changed it if you don't know who changed it. So Paul, this guy who used to kill early Christians, right? When everybody like a bunch of people started accepting Christianity, you know, he said he I don't know where this guy who rejected Jesus, never seen Jesus, who used to persecute Jesus, who called Peter the person who Jesus said he was gonna build his church on, a hypocrite. This guy randomly claimed to be a messenger from Jesus. So this guy was a false prophet. And
Okay,
he
cool.
couldn't
I agree that he wasn't
Yeah.
divinely inspired either.
Yeah,
But
but
what's
let me
the
go
evidence that
ahead.
it was
So-
what's
so
the evidence that it was
because he
changed?
didn't want-
Please,
look,
what is
and
the
then he
evidence?
even
What is
said-
what is the
so let me
evidence that it
finish.
was changed? No, what is the evidence that it was changed?
Okay, so the evidence is this. So this guy Paul, he said, even if an angel came after me and preached a different gospel, don't follow it. So he wanted his version of Christianity to be the correct
Okay,
one.
what is the
forever.
evidence that John was changed?
So because of this, he changed
You're
giving
giving a justification for why you think it was changed. I'm asking how do you know it was changed?
Yeah. Well, I know it was changed because that's what Abdullah Hashim alayhi salam said, because he claimed to be an older prophet.
Oh, so you know it was changed because that's what the guy who you're trusting said, and you're
That's what
trusting
God
him
said,
because
brother.
and you're trusting him because he said that he was predicted by Muhammad.
No, he didn't say, well, yeah, but he
So it's circular. It sounds like what you're telling me is that it's circular.
When you read the Quran, it says that Adam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he blew his spirit into Adam. He told the angels and Satan and Iblis to prostrate to him. All right. So and then after this happened, every
Why should I
single
believe
person.
any of this?
I'm telling you a story of the Quran. You don't have to believe it.
Okay, go ahead.
He told all the angels and the Iblis to prostrate to him. He said, I am going to appoint my messenger. And every day in the age, there's a messenger. And each one was appointed by the last one up to Adam, who was appointed by God. And this thing where you're not accepting the messengers appointed by God, it's Satanism, bro.
Well, I don't think that God is
And
real. So if you want
and
me
if
to
you-
believe
if
that
you-
God is real, then you can't assume that God is real to then infer or then imply that the messenger of God is real, and therefore I should believe the messenger of God. If I don't think God is real, of course I'm not going to think that any of that stuff is real.
Okay, well, I guess we're gonna have to agree to disagree, and I'll hop off. But I just want to let you know, when you don't accept the messenger of God, brother, you're gonna be reincarnated reincarnated as animals, bro. And you're gonna face
Okay.
horrible.
Have you considered atheismo's hell is worse than any possible hell that you could imagine? And if you
Wait, who's
aren't
hell?
atheismo, if you do not become an atheist soon, you will wind up in the worst possible imaginable hell.
Yeah. What's your proof for this?
Oh well, you know, it's just I don't have proof, but you know, if you don't not believe, then you're gonna end up in atheismo hell, and you don't want that, do you?
See now this is double hell for you, my brother. Not for you, but for the people who lied about God and said this.
You don't see that I'm doing what you're doing, right?
No, because you're not claiming to have any authority. You're saying, I don't have any proof. I'm saying,
you don't
my
have any
proof is
authority
God.
either.
My proof is God. The
My
person
proof
who
is
gave you-
atheismo.
Is that a God?
Yeah.
Okay, what's your proof for him? Did he send you a messenger?
I don't believe any of the proof, because if I did, then I wouldn't be an atheist.
So atheism, who's his messengers?
The natural world, my guy. Look at the trees.
No,
They're
no,
obviously
no,
natural.
The messengers, because
Every one of us is a messenger
I'm
of
not about to
atheismo.
look. I
Every
can
one
look
of
at
us
the
is a
trees
messenger of
and I can
atheismo.
come to the conclusion that God exists. Okay, but I can't know who
Atheismo
God is
is
unless he reveals
everyone is a
himself to me.
messenger. Every atheist is a messenger of atheismo.
Okay, so you're a
Trying to
messenger
bring
of
you to the
atheism.
rational thought. Yeah, of course.
Well, tell me his message.
His message is don't believe.
Okay, don't believe in him. Okay, I don't believe in him.
Oh, well, no, you don't believe in any gods.
So okay, I don't believe in him, right?
No, you have to not believe in any gods.
But before I don't believe in any gods, I had to not believe in him, right?
Yep.
Okay, I don't believe in him. Now I believe in other gods.
Oh, but now you're going to atheismo hell.
Okay, well, I don't believe. He told me not to believe in him, so that means he's not real.
Well, just because you don't believe in him doesn't make him not real, right?
Okay, touche.
You don't want to go to
I got you
atheismo hell, do
there,
you?
Huh?
You don't want to go to atheismo hell, do you?
Bro, atheism is hell's not real, bro. It's the God
Well,
of
you're
Abraham
right.
himself.
It's not real. Definitely, atheismo hell is not real.
Okay. If it's not real, how about this? I dare you.
Yep,
I
I'm
dare you.
definitely don't believe in atheismo hell. Yep.
Okay, why don't you go check?
What does that mean?
Go check.
You go check.
I mean, I'll go check once I die.
Well, so will I. And I, because I don't believe in atheismo, and hence I don't believe in atheismo hell or any other god, you know, if atheismo is real, then I'll go to atheismo heaven. But I don't believe in that.
Okay, let me tell you something, my brother. Who do you think are happier? People who believe in God or people who don't believe in God?
I don't know, man. You seem like you're crying a lot.
Me? No, I'm a very happy guy.
Okay, whatever you say, bud.
Yeah. So who do you think is happier? According to research.
I mean, you'd have to tell me. I haven't looked into it.
Okay. I think I heard some guy.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was religious people, because it turns out believing in Santa Claus also makes kids happy.
Okay.
Doesn't make Santa Claus real.
Yeah, but look, the people at the mosques and in church, they don't come to say it together and say, hey, let's lie to people about God. Okay, they actually believe in God, but while parents lie to their kids and say Santa Claus is real,
Yeah, but they've been lied to by the imams and the prophets and so on. In the
You
same
said
way
what?
that parents lie to their kids.
Wait, what'd you say right before that? You said
They've been lied
prophets
to
lie?
they've been lied to by the imams and the prophets.
What's the proof they're lying? Because the imams, they seem smarter to me than you. Matter of fact,
Do they? Why do they make
Yeah.
such bad arguments then?
okay, let me ask. Okay, you said you want to look. All right, what are the proof of the imams that God is real? I'm gonna put this on speaker for you.
Oh, you can't play a video on live.
Oh no, it's a ChatGPT. It's a
Just
reply.
I'm not
Okay, I'll
arguing
read
with
it, I'll read
ChatGPT. I'm not interested in
you're
arguing with
It's gonna
ChatGPT.
read the hadiths. It's gonna read the hadiths from the thing. That's what I'm saying. You don't know how to use ChatGPT.
I'm
I use
very
it-
aware how to use ChatGPT. I just don't care to
No,
argue with it on a live
No, you
stream.
don't argue with ChatGPT. You use it
No,
as a
I'm
tool to bring
arguing
up
with
sources.
it because you're not presenting any arguments yourself. You're just relying on ChatGPT.
Look,
You are the in between me and ChatGPT.
look, you're a smart guy, okay?
I know.
Right. So when I tell you that I'm using ChatGPT to pull up a quote from someone who claimed to be a messenger, you would
You don't have
understand
to
that
read
you're not
ChatGPT. You
arguing
can just go
with-
look
you're
at the source.
I'm pulling up the source with ChatGPT.
Okay, so then open the source. Don't just read what ChatGPT says.
Okay, no problem, bro. I'll open the source. Let me put it. My computer, its Wi-Fi is bad, so let me put it up on my phone.
Your connection sounds great.
No. Like I said, my computer.
Okay, sure.
I mean, look, you don't believe me? I showed you earlier that it says my connection was bad. Remember?
No, but okay.
Okay, whatever.
Do not come. Do not come. Do not come.
What is that?
It's Kamala Harris telling you not to come.
I'll do whatever I want, man.
Don't come.
Nah, I'm listening to you. Don't come where?
It's not about where.
I don't get what you mean by that, but...
We grant that.
Bro, look,
so,
look at
where,
this, man.
what's the
I've
source
been
here?
trying to do this for 10 minutes, just in case you think I'm stalling. Look, look, look. I keep on pressing this. Pressing send.
I'm just asking you to tell me what the source is. Like, just go from the
It's
original
from,
source.
it's from a couple books. It's come from Kitab al-Ghaiba. It's from
Okay, so what do those books say?
Abd al-Sharif. Huh?
What do the books say?
Well, I'm trying to pull up a couple quotes. I mean, there's a couple really good quotes. Al-Kafi.
Is that the quote?
What? Al-Kafi? Mm-hmm. No, it's the name of the book of quotes.
Okay. So you're trying to pull up the book because you don't have access to the book, so you've never seen these sources before?
No, bro, my book is, my freaking internet is bad, man. I don't know what to tell you. Look, I pulled up the book right here. So, have you ever read this book before, Al-Kafi?
Nope.
Well, how
Have
about
you?
this?
Have you ever read it?
Yeah, a couple. I read a couple of like pages of it. I didn't read the whole thing.
Oh, you read a couple pages.
Yeah, but bro, do you see how much freaking chapters on there, bro? I read
Yeah,
the
it's a
entire
book.
Quran.
Books have chapters, yeah.
I read the whole entire Quran, but I haven't read all of this yet.
Yeah, so do you have like a copy of the book?
Which
is how you would have read
it. I have one at the masjid.
So then why don't you just use that?
I do.
Okay,
But I can
so
also use it here. Look. It's all. Look, you can search up.
I can't see what you're showing me.
You can't see it? How come?
It's too small.
Okay, look. Just
The
search up
resolution is
Al-Kafi.
bad.
Search up Al-Kafi, and it's gonna show you thekalain.net.
So what's what's the thing that you're trying to find? The actual quote? What is the quote that you're trying to find?
Well, that's why I was trying to ask ChatGPT about it, because there's too many pages to follow it up. So how about this, bro? I'll find the quote.
What's
and
the
then I'll come back
actual
and show you.
argument that you're trying to make here?
Well, I'm trying to give you their arguments of the proof of God.
So do you not know them?
I do. Like, it was
So then why don't you just
natural
give them?
fitrah
Why don't you
and
just
it
give me
was-
them? If you
Because I
know
wanna
them,
get it verbatim.
just give me them.
Because I want to give you them verbatim, bro. Hold on, man.
I'm sure that we could figure it out.
Yeah, we can, man. If
I'm,
this
I'm sure you don't.
ChatGPT
You don't have to read. You don't have to read the direct quotes. I'm sure you could figure out what the arguments are.
What the arguments of God are?
Whatever argument you wanted to make, you could make the argument yourself.
Okay, well, you do realize, like, this whole thing is a test, right?
So are we pivoting?
According to Islam, this whole thing is a test.
Okay,
Like,
that's cool. I don't believe that Islam is true.
Okay, but you know, like, you believe we're descended from like animals, right?
Yep. Well, we
What's your
are
proof of
animals,
that?
but yeah.
What's your proof for that?
The entire field of evolutionary biology.
No, it's false.
The entire field is false?
Not the entire field, but the fact that the conclusion they come up to that we came from animals is false.
I mean, the conclusion is based on the entire field.
okay, you know what? How about this? The entire field suggests that we came from Adam and Eve.
The entire field of evolutionary biology?
Yeah, I suggest that we came from Adam and Eve.
Oh, but that's not true because we have bones from 300,000 plus years ago.
And
That are
that's Adam
human.
and Eve's bones.
Oh no, but we have many bones from
And
300,000
that's
plus
their
years ago.
children's bones.
But we have even older bones than that. And those
Yeah,
bones,
that's
those bones are
freaking
not
apes.
quite human.
And those are apes' bones, not
No,
humans'
but they're
bones.
still in the Homo genus.
Okay, that means God made them with the same DNA as us and blew our spirit in their descendants.
Okay, but that is a non-biological claim.
What do you mean by that?
You're not making a claim about biology, you're making a claim about divinity. So this can't be, the evidence, the evolutionary biology evidence can't point to this because it's not a biological claim.
Okay, according to science, do they know for 100% fact that we came from another species?
In as much as we know the sun will rise tomorrow, yes.
Okay, so which species did we come from? Which one do we evolve from?
Typically it's called Homo erectus.
Homo erectus.
Yeah.
Okay. And Neanderthals, they mixed with Homo sapiens?
Mm-hmm.
And how do you know this?
Because we can look at our DNA, and we can look at the DNA of Neanderthals.
Okay, well, we have 60% of the DNA of a banana. Does that mean that your granddaddy used a banana tree?
No, but it could mean that bananas are our cousins. This is how we check for paternal relations, for cousin relations, for sibling relations. We check DNA. And so if it is the case that you trust genetics for figuring out who's the baby daddy, right? Then it should also be the case that you trust genetics to figure out who's the granddaddy, who's the great granddaddy, and that goes all the way back. That goes billions of years back.
We're testing blood.
No, you don't have to. You don't have to test blood to do a DNA test. In fact, red blood cells don't have nuclei.
It's way more. Okay, hold on, wait.
All you need is
let me
DNA.
Let me search up. What's more accurate? Testing your baby is from you, or testing if you came from something?
We're just Googling, right?
Of years ago, because you wanted to make that comparison, and you know what's wrong.
No, it's totally fine. It's totally fine comparison.
It's the most accurate and reliable way to know your baby is from you. Okay. So
and it doesn't. It didn't even talk about the comparison. The point is that it's the same methodology, right, to determine relations. So if you agree that we can use DNA to determine relations amongst siblings, parent-child, cousins, etc., then you must also agree that we can use DNA to determine the relations amongst far more distant ancestors and far more distant cousins.
Okay, let's say we came from them. Doesn't like disprove the fact that we could have came from Adam and Eve? And
bro, you brought it up. I didn't. I don't know why you brought it up. Well, it was related to the topic. It cannot be the case that we came from Adam and Eve, and also that we came from non-human ancestors.
It could mean that God ruled his spirit into Adam and Eve and was just a chimp. No, you never know. You don't know what it actually means.
There was no two original humans. There was no two original humans.
You don't know that.
Yeah, we do. This is how evolution by natural selection functions. It functions on populations as a whole, not on individuals.
Okay, so you believe we came from a single amoeba?
Not an amoeba, a single-celled organism, sure.
Okay, and where did that single-celled organism come from?
Magic, let's say.
Magic?
Yep. Aliens.
Okay, so are you being serious right now?
A rock.
Are you being serious right now when you said magic, or you
No, I'm trolling you.
Okay, so
because you think it came from magic, right? You think that Adam and Eve came from magic.
No, I don't think it came from magic.
Sorry, where do you think the first life came from?
First life? On this earth?
Yeah.
Let me search that up.
Oh, well, you don't even know what you think?
Well, I think everything came from God.
I'm asking you, where do you think the first life came from?
Oh, look, well, I'll answer this. I think everything came from God, but I think that things...
and how did God make it?
Wait, and I think that things could have also came from
Sorry, how
things.
did God make it?
How did God make it? Well,
what does the Quran say?
It says, be kun fayakun. Be and it is.
So magic. Abracadabra, alakazam. It is.
No, be and it is. Kun fayakun.
So what mechanism did he use to produce these?
What's the same mechanism for whatever the Big Bang came into existence?
So physics? Physics?
So why is God involved? How did physics come into existence?
I don't think physics came into existence. Physics is a field of study.
Okay, so physics is a field of study.
You're showing us the dogs for free? My man.
I was actually showing you the cats for free, buddy.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, but anyways, I was saying, the Big Bang, how do you think that came into existence? You don't know, right?
I can speculate, but no, I don't know.
Okay, so until you have an actual definitive answer to that, come back to me, because I actually have a definitive answer.
Your definitive answer is wrong. Your
I
third
can
answer
say
is
I
wrong.
can say
It's
I
magic.
can say I don't believe that that this DNA is fake. I think you guys just wanted to Google Doc and made it. So
I mean,
you can say
you could do that, but
say
you can
that
test
these
it
prophets.
yourself.
Wait, you can say that these prophets they just made it up, but they say they had proof from actual God and they seen it. And they went to God and seen
Well,
it.
right. So, but can you test their claims yourself?
I mean, I can see it in a dream, can I?
Oh, have you seen it in a dream?
Maybe I have, maybe I haven't.
Can I see it in a dream?
Well, your heart is pretty hard from based on what you're telling me. Man.
Yeah, my heart's hard. You can say that again. But look, the point is that in principle, you can do all of these DNA tests yourself. You can do all of these scientific experiments yourself. That's the whole business of science, is that it's in principle testable by anybody.
I agreed that you could test your baby, bro. I just said that it's a lot more different than testing something.
No, I'm saying that in principle, you could learn how to run these DNA tests on like ancient Neanderthal tissue. Like,
Yeah,
you could do this yourself. This is in
I
principle
agree. We have a lot of their
accessible to everybody.
DNA. I agree. We have a lot of their DNA, and I agree.
So you're not
also have a lot of
understanding my
DNA.
point. My point is that you and I, we can't verify what these supposed prophets are saying because it's one and done, right? You can't reproduce it. You can't reproduce the message from God. All you can do is just believe them or not believe them. Whereas, as far as the evolutionary biology is concerned, you could just do the experiments yourself.
Do you know why I interrupted you?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to you because you were interrupting me.
You made a claim and I stopped you because your claim was incorrect.
Well, apparently you didn't stop me because I kept talking.
Yeah, because you weren't listening, man. I can speak and listen at the same time, man.
So, would you like to respond to what I said?
Yeah, so I'm gonna respond to the first thing you said. You said you can't test, you can't verify what these prophets are saying. Well, you can't verify what these prophets are saying because you're not trying, man. You're not doing the things that they.
How does one verify it?
You know, when I was a kid, let me tell you something, bro. I was a very smart guy. You know, I didn't grow up. Look, I didn't.
I'm sure you were.
I swear, I know. I'm speaking a little bit like not very like proper. I'm not right now. I smoke a little bit of weed. I'm not gonna lie. But I'm a very smart guy. You know, I go to school. I'm trying to be a firefighter. But when I was a kid, man, I didn't really. I had a hard time believing in God because of what you know, because I went to school, you know, and they tell us that you know, we evolved from Homo erectus, we're Homo sapiens, all this.
Where'd
stuff.
you go to school?
I went to school at Laurie Elementary, and I went to Fortson High School. And I went to Schoolcraft College.
Where?
Dearborn, Michigan.
Oh, okay. Because you do sound like you have a little bit of an accent.
What do you mean by that?
I don't know. It's hard to.
Like I have Arab accent, right?
A little bit. It's not so strong, but so I'd assume that you moved to the United States when you were young. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, no, I grew up in the United States, but I was born in Syria.
Okay.
Like I moved to Detroit when I was basically 1 year old.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure.
Okay, so I had a hard time believing it, but I remember it was one time, bro, and I'd always see people religious around me, right? But by the way, all these, just because someone's religious doesn't mean they're good. Doesn't mean they worship God either. But yeah, man. So I decided I wanted to find out if God was real, man, because I would search things up. So you know, I searched it up. You know, I said, let me try. You know, how am I gonna say it's not real when I haven't tried? So I sincerely started trying. I started reading the Quran. I started reading the Hadith. I started praying. I started doing all this stuff. And you know, maybe I received something. Maybe I didn't. I'm not gonna tell you, but I'm gonna tell you something. I found the answer and I verified it. And you know, and I know the truth now. I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna expose it. If you wanna know, go try for yourself, man. You said it's not verifiable. I'm telling you it is. Just go try.
Look, I don't know what it means to verify it by reading the Quran. Like, you're reading something, you're not verifying it, right?
I didn't say I just read the Quran. I said I sincerely started searching devoutly.
So what's the process of verification here? What are you actually doing?
Okay, first of all, you have to sincerely, devoutly look. And if you already don't have that sincerity, well,
That's
maybe
fine.
you mess up.
Okay, what's the process of how you do the verification?
I just told you the first.
It's just look devoutly.
Let me say something. Just don't interrupt me. Okay. So the first thing you have to do is you have to be sincere. And if you don't have the sincerity, you probably messed up.
I understand the first step. What's the second step?
Okay, I'm gonna move on to the second step. But when I say the second step, don't say what's the third step after. So the second step is you have to start searching. Once you have that sincerity in your heart, you have to start searching. And it doesn't.
Okay,
don't
searching
search
is
in one
good.
place. Don't search in one place. Don't only search in the Quran.
What's after searching?
Go back to the Torah. Go back to the Zabur. Go back to the Psalms.
What's after searching?
Go back to the Quran. Go back to the Hadith.
Like, what do you do? Because it sounds like you're just telling me you're just reading.
After you search, and you have that sincerity in your heart, you ask God. You tell God this. God, I searched for you. I looked everywhere for you. if you are real, lead me to it. I don't know whether it's through his dream, whether it's through a messenger, whatever through something.
But how does this verify anything?
Well, if it's true, he'll verify for you. If it's not, he won't, right?
So, and maybe this is the distinction that, between science and faith, but when you verify something... Please.
Whatever, go ahead.
So when you verify something scientifically, what you do is you start out skeptical, and you remain skeptical the whole way until the evidence is overwhelming and you're forced to believe what the evidence says. But it sounds like you're saying in order to verify this religious claim, you have to first believe it's true. And then you have to go do confirmation bias until you find it's true.
No, I didn't say it's true.
You
I said
did.
I said you have to be sincere in your looking. That means
And then, and then you have to reach out to God. How can you reach out to God if you don't think it's true?
If you're sincere, if you're sincere about looking for something, that means you don't know if he's real or not. Because what's the point of looking for someone? You can't look for someone if you already know he's real. What do you? I mean, yeah, that's my whole point.
Sure. So in step one, you are sincerely questioning, and then in step two, step two was what?
You look everywhere that claims to be from God.
Mm-hmm. And then step three was?
You ask him to sincerely.
How do you ask him if you don't think he exists?
Okay, look. Well, you don't look. In that moment, you can say this. You can say this. You can just speak out loud, right? And maybe he's real, maybe he's not. You don't know that, right?
Okay, so you're not talking to anybody.
So no. Maybe he's real, maybe he's not. If he's real, you're speaking to him. If he's not, you're not speaking to him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
And so when people do this and then they don't find faith, they instead become less religious, less faithful. What does that say?
What does that say?
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe God wants to answer them later in their life.
So there's no surefire way to verify things.
Well, no,
because sometimes it just doesn't work, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, so maybe sometimes it doesn't work, but sometimes it does, man.
So then how do you know that when it does work, it's actually God doing it and not just, your some funny thing happening? Yeah, your psyche or just some religious figure in your community happens to call you the next day or whatever it might be.
Yeah. Well,
because
I know that
the lovely thing about the scientific method is that you get an objective answer, right? You get an objective answer. There's no maybe not, man. Maybe it is. You get either the hypothesis is verified by some experiment or it's not.
Look, man.
And when it's not, you can just reject it. But it seems like when the method that you're suggesting fails, that doesn't mean that it's false. It just means that maybe it'll come later.
So wait, are you saying the scientific method is the only way to find out if something is true?
Not necessarily. I think that the historical method is another thing. The historical method is used for studying history, of course. Then there's mathematics, which it doesn't use the scientific method. It uses kind of deductive reasoning or formal induction, which is not the scientific method, but you can still come to truths about the world around you. So I think that there are different methods that are used, but if we're trying to figure out some objective fact about the world around us that's not human history, then I think that the scientific method is really, really good and really effective at doing that.
That was a really good answer. I was trying to trick you with that one, man. I was gonna say, according to the scientific method, your answer was wrong, but you actually answered that right. But yeah, man, you're being
surprise! I actually know what I'm talking about.
Hold on, so don't hype yourself up too much. I already gave you a compliment. But you're being tested. I can only hint you, and I can only guide you to the direction, man. But I can't tell you. I can't just say, okay, this is the answer, man. You're being tested. I gave you some evidence. I gave your audience some evidence. I'm gonna hop off for today, man.
All right, Lafta. Thanks for being here. Take care.
You're welcome, man.
By the way, and it wasn't relevant for the conversation, but I'm pretty sure that he's going straight to what is it, Jahannam, for believing that there was another prophet after Muhammad. That's I'm not wrong about that, right? Dude is super heretical. From Bacon and Bush sending 10 gifted Dr. Blitz Debunks gift memberships. Thank you so much. So there are some perks that you get if you have got one of these Dr. Blitz Debunks gift memberships. You now have access to my debate notes, which you can find in the, there's a place once you accept it, you'll find a link to the debate notes, which has just a list of arguments and facts and papers and pieces of evidence and counter arguments and, claims and all sorts of things that can be useful in debates like this, debates like the Flat Earth debate, debates like the MAGA debate, the Young Earth Creationism debate, lots of interesting things. And you also get access to emojis. And we're in the process of giving you access to a special members only kind of Discord channel. The broader Discord channel is available to everybody, but we're making a members only Discord channel and we're working on that. Thank you so much, Bacon. And from NASA Payroll with the 1,000 coins on TikTok, it's very much appreciated. I wish people could send messages on TikTok. From Dr. Fudge with the $10, it'd be genuinely impressive if it was recorded in the first language, because no shot was Proto-Afroasiatic written at all. It'd actually be miraculous. That'd be true. Yeah, that's true. Afroasiatic was not written. There's no way. From Relax with Russell with the $5, Dr. Blitz, you said something like no heat or light may be radio waves. As I've understood it for years, radio waves are light. Is this incorrect? Okay, so there's kind of two different ways of thinking about light. There's light in the sense of light that we see. Often this is called visible light, which is one part of the electromagnetic spectrum. And then there's kind of light in the broader sense, which is all electromagnetic waves. So in that sense, radio waves are light in that they're electromagnetic waves. From Christopher Sanford with the £2. Wait, why does it smell of toasted theist in here? Because the theist got toasted. From Fifth Ave Inc. with the $5. They'll ask who you think is happier, but never who you think is smarter. Oh, that's a good point. That's funny though. From Chris Howell with the $2. Bro's never heard of Luca, apparently. Well, not a lot of people have, to be fair. From Carol Mitchell with the $5. I want to creationism some personal wealth by shorting the subprime automobile lending bubble in the US. How do you feel about buying KMX stock? Don't ask me for stock advice. From Dank Bird Gang with the $2. That arrogant cadence is unbearable. Oof. Well, yeah, fair. From Lucky with the $2. Autosuggestion is pretty powerful. ChatGPT does do more than autosuggestion, but it's hard to say that it's thinking. From Az Utkarsh with the 40 Indian rupees, 10 rage bait. Well, I don't know. Maybe. From Ordinary Heathen with the $2. Step 1, be sincere. Step 2, question mark. Step 3, profit. That's funny. That's a funny joke. You did a funny thing. You should, you get credit for that. From Bacon and Bush again with the $10. You don't talk about your Patreon. You should. I'll shill for you. That's a good idea. So I do have a Patreon. The thing is, you get less perks unless you're at the very, very highest tier, which is the Medici tier. So on Patreon, there's a $5 and $10 Patreon perk. These are just standard things. You get access to the debate notes, but you don't really get anything else except, again, we're working on getting you access to the Discord notes, but you don't get any emojis. There is a Patreon there is a Patreon tier where you get super, super unique perks. You get access to private meetings with me on a quarterly basis. You get personal acknowledgements in all of the publications that I write while you are supporting me. So there's a lot, but it's really expensive, and you have to be like independently wealthy to be that. Pretend that you're in the Medici family if you want to join that tier on Patreon. And from L'Oreal Ashley sending 5 Dr. Blitz gift memberships, very much appreciated for supporting the verts as well as the whores. So we have Bacon and Bush supporting the whores and L'Oreal Ashley supporting the verts. So whether you're on the vertical or on the horizontal channel, you get the same perks, you get the same emojis, you get the same access to the debate notes. I think the vertical channel is $1 cheaper, and that's for historical reasons, and I can't change it, which is unfortunate. So if you want to get access to all of the perks, it has to come from and you want it for cheapest, it'll come from the vertical channel. All right. And we got $10 from Grimlock. Oh no, my water bottle is empty. Well, now it's empty. I'll have to refill it at some point during the stream, but let's bring on our next guest. Highland might want to debate. Okay, let's bring up Highland. Highland, how's it going?
Oh, can you hear me, sir?
I can. How's it going?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Highland, do you think that the universe was created?
That's actually an interesting question, because my theology is a little bit different.
Well, but that is the topic.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. My fault. But yeah, I'd say we're created by a God.
When you say we are, do you mean like people, or do you mean like the whole universe, or?
People in the whole universe, yes.
Okay. Why do you think so?
I think so just due to my own personal experiences, because that's really all you can rely on. And
I mean, that's not really true, right? I mean,
yeah, it's not really true. Like, you can use secondary info, or technically tertiary info to support I can use that to support my belief, but that's never going to be a 100% proof for me.
Well, I mean, in my view, we never do 100% proof is mathematics. It's not a thing that we do in reality. But you know, if I'm on a road trip and I come up to a bridge that I've never crossed, I'm not relying on any personal experience in order to trust that the bridge isn't going to fall, right?
Yeah.
So like we rely on the expertise of the engineers who built the bridge. So it seems like we don't need to rely on secondary or on personal experience in order to come to conclusions about the way the world is. In fact, like just as a practical matter, we don't.
Well, take that back to the engineer, though. There was still an engineer for the bridge.
Yeah.
He's the one that built that way.
Yep.
He's the one that made it so you could rely on it.
Cool. That wasn't the reason why I brought up the example, but sure. Yeah, we can talk about the everything needs a creator if you want. But like the reason I brought up the analogy or the example is just to illustrate that there are things that we trust that we can use to build knowledge about the world, right?
Yeah, I agree.
And so like, you know, you have to, you know, expect that I'm going to ask you for more than just your personal experience if you think that this is true and you have some reason to think it's true. So what goes beyond the personal experience?
Personal experience. Let me think for a second, because you're obviously way smarter than me, so I'm gonna get my sources.
I didn't say it.
Yeah. Let me think. I personally, I just say like nothing in my scripture really contradicts with science, in my opinion. Not that I've gone through.
Do you think that plants existed before the sun did?
Plants existed before the sun did? No.
Okay, well, in Genesis 1, it describes the order of creation, and it says that plants were created on the third day, and the sun was created on the fourth day. So the sun would have been created after the plants.
I'll get this real fast. I have King James version right now.
Sure, it's fine. It's the same order in every version.
Yeah, I know. So in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. So the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and the darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Waters is not literal, by the way. And then God said, "Let there be light." So light would be the sun.
No, go look at the fourth day.
Fourth day?
Yep.
And God said, "Let the light," that it was good, and God divided the light from darkness.
Go down to the fourth day.
Right. Yeah. Hold on, let me find it.
It's like verse, 12?
Yeah. And then God, Hold on.
Sorry, it's verse 14.
Yeah. And God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from night, and let them be for signs." I'd say that's just the moon.
Well, keep reading.
Or the rotation of the earth.
Keep reading.
Yeah. Night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years.
Keep reading.
And let them be for lights in the firmament and the heaven to give light upon the earth.
Keep reading.
And it was so. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He also made the stars also.
So which one's the greater light?
The greater light would be the sun.
Right, so he made that on the fourth day.
Hold on. Let me see this real fast. That's actually a cool, interesting point. That's pretty cool.
This is the first book, the first chapter of the first book.
Yeah.
How did you never notice this?
I do most of New Testament.
But this
really
is like this chapter, this one chapter is the entire origin story.
Yeah, it's also it's context though too.
What's the context?
Saying.
How does context help you here?
The context helps you first of all, because before this it says let there be light. Not that's not the sun, but that's just light in general. It's starting the universe. Okay.
Yeah,
but
I understand.
Then. All right.
But then plants are made on the third day. And then the sun is made on the fourth day.
Yeah, before this, let the waters... Yeah. Hold on. Let me find this real fast. Yeah. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. So day and night is before the sun?
That's what the ancient Hebrews believed, yeah.
Well, how would that...
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
But that's what it says, because it made the sun, because God made the sun on the fourth day. So they actually didn't think that the sun is the reason why the sky was light, that the sky was lit up. They thought that you could have daylight even without the sun. They just thought that the sun was kind of there to make sure that the day was being, kept in lockstep.
Well, isn't that also not incorrect though? There's
No,
other
that's
suns
very
other than
wrong.
ours.
It's very wrong. You cannot have daytime on Earth without the sun.
Without the sun, but also there can be light though still, because we have other suns within our universe. Is that
Except the
incorrect?
other suns are the stars, and he made the stars on the fourth day too.
Yeah. Fourth day.
But the point is
That's a pretty good point. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not very well researched into that point.
it's the first chapter.
Yeah, I know it's the first chapter. Okay, I know, but I haven't gone too much thought into that. I kind of just read it and didn't really think about that much.
We grant that, unfortunately.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
All
look,
right.
I mean, like that's like in the first chapter you see something that's like that's pretty much in direct contradiction with our scientific understanding of the world, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And like I could go find you more if you wanted, but it's going to be more of the same.
Sure.
There is a verse about hyraxes. Do you know what a hyrax is? It's actually a really fun animal.
No.
One sec.
Yeah.
I'll pull up the verse. It is in Leviticus 11:5.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I want to show you a picture, because if you don't know what a hyrax is, then it's going to be kind of confusing to you. So let me show you a picture of a hyrax that I took. When did I go to the zoo? They're very funny looking animals.
Yeah.
Is it this guy? No, that's an owl. Owls are not hyraxes. It's this guy. Here we go. I don't know if you can see this.
Yeah.
That little
right,
little derpy dumbass, right? Very silly animals. They're quite old, and in fact, they're so it's this guy. They're actually mentioned in the Bible in Leviticus 11:5. I can pull up the verse if you want. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we can look at the surrounding literature as well if you want. Let me pull up you probably like the KJV, right?
Yeah.
I guess you already told me that, so I'm not making a prediction about something. So hyraxes have a few different names. They're called hyraxes, they're called rock badgers, they're called conies. These are just different names for the same animal.
Yeah.
And so Leviticus 11:5, let me show you the verse so that I'm not lying to you.
Yeah. No, I have it right here. I know
Okay.
you're not lying.
Okay, so this is for everybody else then. So the verse is, and the coney, because he cheweth the cud, but divideth not the hoof, he is unclean to you. So this is God giving instructions, and in this case, an example of what is clean and what is not clean to eat. These are the kosher rules, or the kosher laws. But importantly, so it says that conies, which are hyraxes, chew the cud. Now, do you know what chewing cud is?
What is it?
It's when it's the thing that cows do, where they eat some grass, they swallow it, then they vomit it back up, and then they eat it again.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what chewing cud is, and so animals that chew cud, those animals are kosher. They also have to have divided hoofs or cloven hoofs, and they have in order to be kosher as well. Cows do it, pigs don't do it. Now hyraxes, it says hyraxes because he cheweth the cud, so it says hyraxes chew cud, but they don't have cloven hoofs, so they're not clean. The trouble is hyraxes don't chew cud.
Yeah.
And yet, in Leviticus 11:5, it says that they do.
So what would be the diet of the coney then? Like what do they consume?
It just eats like grass and stuff, but it doesn't throw it up and then eat it again.
Throw it up and eat it again.
That's what the chewing cud bit is.
Yeah.
And so that's a little
Can you
weird.
pull up the definition for that?
For the definition of chewing cud?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure, we can just use Google. It's the digestive process where a ruminant animal, like cows and sheep, regurgitate partially digested food from their stomach back into their mouths to chew it a second time.
Okay.
And they just don't do that.
That's pretty cool. Why? Can you give like an example of why they'd even think that in the first place?
Because they eat their poop, sometimes.
They...
And so like and also they're kind of like, they look like they're related to rabbits. They're not rabbits, but they look like they're related to rabbits. And so they do that thing with their mouth, like where it's like, that thing where they like look like they're chewing all the time.
Yeah.
And that's what it looks like when cows are chewing the cud. So it's reasonable that the people who are writing this may have thought, oh, their mouth is moving in the same way that cows move their mouths, so maybe they're chewing their cud too.
Or maybe it's just eating something that's already have been digested is what's unclean to God. Because I personally believe.
Well, that's not what it says, though.
I know. I don't believe in an infallibility of the Bible. We don't believe this thing's infallible. Like, at least my denomination.
Here's the problem. Pigs eat their own poop as well. But
Yeah.
when you go look at the verse about pigs being unclean, it doesn't say that they chew the cud.
Yeah.
So, like, if it was just about eating already digestive food, then it would apply equally well to pigs as it does to hyraxes.
Yeah, that's like the whole point, though, is why I don't believe in infallibility, is because this.
But so somebody
book,
was getting
the
this.
amount of
Somebody was
times-
getting it wrong.
Yeah, somebody is definitely getting it wrong, because if they're talking about it as cud in one and it's the same process as another, then the translation is just wrong.
No, it's so look, regardless of how you translate it, pigs and hyraxes do the same thing with regard to already digested food. They eat poop. It's called copro something. They both do this. They do it for different reasons, but they both do it. And so if it was just about eating pre-digested or already, cecotropes, I'm sorry, or coprophagia. If it was just because they were eating pre-digested food or already digested food, then it would be the case that they would both be considered chewing their cud, or they would both not be considered chewing their cud. I.e., because they do the same thing, they should be in the same category with regards to however you translate this, right? They either do it or they don't, together. But somehow it says that they're doing it separately. And what that makes me think is that people misinterpreted what they were doing with their mouths. People were like looking at them, but they didn't see it happen, but they kind of said like, oh, that looks like what cows do. So they inferred that they're doing the same thing, but they were just wrong about that.
Yeah.
That would indicate that this was written by people, even though it says it came from God.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not gonna lie to you right now. I'm not as good on scientific facts as I am with philosophy. I'm much better at.
Then why'd you bring up
with
scripture, disagreeing with scientific facts?
Yeah. I don't even know. That's I got a little stressed. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Is there anything else you want to talk about, or do you want to call it there? I mean, we can change topics if you want, but
yeah, sure, please. If we can, let's talk about morality.
Okay, sure.
Okay, so without defining the thing for your morality, how would you what would you base your morality off of?
My values.
Your values, but what makes those values?
They probably come from a combination of like things that are kind of intrinsic to humans, like kind of proto morals that we evolved with, plus some environmental factors like the family that I was raised in and the society I grew up in.
So so basically love, is that correct in assuming?
What do you mean? No, I have certain values. There are certain things I care about, certain things I find repugnant. And so my morals derive from those values, from the things that I care about and the things that I don't like.
Yeah. So what's stopping you from murdering somebody?
I think that is disvaluable. I think that is bad. It's one of my values. I value life.
But why do you value it?
I just told you. I mean, in part, it's probably coming from evolutionary reasons, like we are a social species, and in part, it's probably coming from the society that I grew up in and the parents I was raised by.
Which the society was, let's go into like historically, the whole world has practically been influenced by Christianity. So
sure, except I was raised in a Jewish household, so
so still technically like
not Christianity.
Yeah, not Christianity, but basically a Abrahamic religion.
Sure.
So still, morality was based off of at least
that's where my value. Yeah, my values in part came from the religious traditions of my parents. Sure.
Okay. So why do you still hold on to them if you're an atheist?
Because I still have those values. The values are kind of independent of where they came from.
Why would they be independent for where they came from, though?
The values that I have were instilled in me. I mean, and I can't remember like my parents saying, this is what you'll believe, right? But just the environment that they raised me in. Those are the values that were kind of I don't want to say forced upon me, but those are the values that were kind of trained into me as a young child. And so that wired my brain to prefer some things and not prefer other things.
So indirectly, you're still obeying laws of God then? Thou shalt not murder.
I'm obeying the things that my parents, at least in part.
Yeah.
My values come from the things that my parents valued.
Yeah, but still though, why? Why would you do that?
Because that's
If
how my
there's no
brain is.
reason to.
That's how my brain, that's how my psychology is now. Because that's where
Yeah.
that's how the values developed.
So would you're saying then you'd be different you would be different if you were raised somewhere else then?
Yeah, so would you. Like, of
Yeah, I
course,
know, I
obviously.
know. Yeah. So if you were raised in let's say, so if there's no God and there's no rules, there's no rules.
Why would there be no rules?
There is no rules because not like scientific rules. That's not what I meant. But like,
Why would there
and
be no
there's
moral
no
rules?
Laws.
Why would there be no laws?
Moral law. Because there's nothing to say that's right or wrong. There's nothing to
There would still be
give you
people,
that.
right? People can
still
say
be-
that
yeah,
things are
there's-
right or wrong.
Yeah, but what's
So why
telling
could
them
there-
that's right or wrong?
Their values.
Yeah, exactly. But their values are coming from something that is not human.
Proof? Evidence? Why should I believe that
Evidence?
claim? I think that all these
Every
values come
single
from
law.
humans.
Let's go into every single law. Okay, every single law we have stealing.
How
okay?
about slavery is bad? I think that I have
Slavery.
values such that
I
slavery
believe
is bad.
Slavery is bad too.
Yeah.
I believe slavery is bad too.
The religious law says that it's actually fine.
Yeah, technically not. No.
Technically,
That
if
was
you go look in the Hebrew Bible, it says, "Here's how to own slaves. You can buy them from the nations around you.
Well,
if
yeah.
they're Hebrew
That's
slaves, then they
actually
should go
different, though.
free in the 7th year. But if they are not Hebrew slaves, if they are foreign slaves, then you keep them for life. They are your property."
The
not different.
difference of that though is the servants at the time were actually taken care of.
It
Like,
said
they
that
were
you could
not-
beat your slaves as long as they didn't die within a few days. That's not taking care
Can
of
you give
your
me a-
slaves. Yeah, sure.
Can you give me the verse?
I think it's Exodus. Yeah, it's Exodus 21:20. Let me pull it up. Oops, that's not what I wanted. I wanted this. Let me take this and move it, or I can just scroll down. Anyone who beats their male or female slave with a rod must be punished if the slave dies as a direct result, but they are not to be punished if the slave recovers after a day or two, since the slave is their property.
Can you give me surrounding verses so I can get context?
Yeah, sure. The verse before that is if people quarrel with, or so this is a
Yeah.
set of laws that's just telling you how to live. So
Yeah.
the bit before that is if two people are fighting and one person hits another with a stone or with their fist and the victim does not die but is confined to bed, the one who struck the blow will not be held liable if the other can get up and walk around outside with a staff. However, the guilty party must pay the injured person for any loss of time and see that the victim is completely healed. Then there's the verse that I just read, and then after that it says,
Yeah.
if people are fighting and hit a pregnant woman and she gives birth prematurely but there's no serious injury, the offender must be fined whatever the woman's husband demands. So this is just like each set of verses is just like a law, and this is about this law is about committing violence.
Okay, so committing violence, and then they're not punished. So that's also still though, like if you are attacking someone, the punishment is not the same as if you murdered them though.
We're not
Is that
talking about
correct?
murder. We're talking about beating someone.
Yeah, but
You
it
can
says
beat someone
that
to
they
within
will
an
not
inch of
be
their
punished.
life.
Yeah.
As long as they don't die within a few days, there's
Yeah,
no
but
penalty.
Still though, today, let's say today, like if you are assaulting someone, the punishment is different if they do not die.
Yeah, here there is no punishment. Also, to be clear, I brought this up because you said that they treated their slaves well. This is not an example of treating your slaves well.
Yeah, not treating them well. Yeah. Well, this is law for exactly that though, not treating your slaves well.
Yeah,
Like,
and it
let's
says that
look at-
it says that there's no penalty, i.e., there's nothing wrong with beating your slaves so long as they don't die. When you're off the app, I can't hear you, by the way. You there? Can't hear you. Yeah, I wonder if ChatGPT is being used. ChatGPT, please uncook me. And you can't uncook an egg. All right, well, I'm going to let him go then, because it seems like he has fled the scene, if you will. But yeah, I mean, it's just rough, right? Like, what a rough world we live in. All right, let's read some super chats and we'll bring up our next guest. From Dank Bird Gang with the $2. Wow. Hyraxes make the funniest sound. They're like, it's so funny. I love my little Hyraxes. Elephant cousins. Yeah, apparently the closest living relatives to Hyraxes are elephants, which is very weird. I was getting a verse. I could have just gotten the verse for you. Okay, let's bring it back up. You shouldn't just disappear if you're doing something, right? Why'd you decline the invitation? There you are.
I didn't mean to do that.
Okay, so yeah, when you're off the app, I can't hear you, and it just seems like you just fled the scene. So, what's the verse that you're finding?
I'm looking for examples of the opposite of.
Oh, you're going to find no examples in the Bible condemning slavery, right? You will find none.
No, not condemning, of them being treated well.
Do you think that it's okay to own people's property even if you treat them well?
Own people's property, even
own people as property. Yeah.
As property.
Yeah.
Well, we already technically do that nowadays by hiring them.
No, when you hire someone, they can voluntarily leave whenever they want. They just don't get paid anymore,
but
right?
In America, at least, you have to give them notice that you're leaving.
No, you don't. There is no law there is no law about that, by the way. You can just leave. You just won't get a good letter of reference. But anyway. Yeah. Supposing that we do it in America, and slavery is legal in America as per the 13th Amendment in prisons, presumably you don't think that's okay.
Yeah.
So do you think it's okay to own people as property?
Probably not. Yeah, no.
Okay, so Leviticus 25:44 through 46 says that your male and female slaves are to come from the nations around you. From them you may buy slaves. You may also buy some of the temporary residents living among you and members of their clans born in your country, and they will become your property. You can bequeath them to your children as inherited property and can make them slaves for life. But you must not rule over your fellow Israelites ruthlessly. So, yeah, these are slaves for life. They are property. They can be inherited by your children. But just don't do that to your fellow Israelites.
Do you know what the people that were in the surrounding nations were doing at the time to them?
Is it okay to enslave people if you think that they're doing bad things?
Oh, well, would you say it's okay to let people around you, like let's say you're Jewish, am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so Judaism, for example, like the nation state of Israel. Okay, if they were sitting there and they were being bombed ruthlessly from every side consistently over and over and over and over and over and over and over, do they not have a right to protect themselves, or do they just have to allow that to continue?
They certainly don't have to allow themselves to be, just attacked, but that doesn't justify slavery.
Yeah.
Sorry,
but in this exact verse, though, in this example, the people in the surrounding nations are so hardened of heart. For example, like so hardened of heart that they will not.
What's the evidence for that?
Be good. I'll give it to you. Hold up real fast. I'm not leaving. Okay.
Sure. Also, to be clear, say that your country gets bombed and, you get bombed and attacked a lot. Bad. right? We generally shouldn't bomb people. Bombing is bad. That also means that you shouldn't just go and bomb them back. Especially if it involves, like, civilians getting blown up. Like, don't do that. Like, sure, strategic strikes of, like, military bases. Okay, I guess that's what people sign up for in the military. But, like, you know, war is a thing that happens. But don't... Bombing is bad, it turns out. Don't bomb people. It's not hard.
Would be the Amalekites.
I can't hear you. When you're off the app, I can't hear a word you're saying.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes.
So my example would be the Amalekites and the Canaanites.
Yeah, okay. So let's talk about the Amalekites. So what did the Amalekites do to deserve being genocided?
Genocided.
Because that's what's ordered in 1 Samuel 15, if I remember correctly.
Let me find the verse for you, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not leaving again. So
Welcome back.
Exodus, yeah, sorry. Let me Exodus
17, 8 through 16, is that what you're looking for?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So during the Exodus, the Amalekites ambushed the Israelis, or the Israelites rather, and then the Israelites defeated them. And then what happened?
Then they, let me see.
400 years later, the God of the Israelites declares that they need to be exterminated.
Okay, let me see.
That happens in 1 Samuel 15.
First Samuel. I'm gonna go find it. Okay.
So there is one kind of primordial interaction between the Israelites and the Amalekites. This happens during the Exodus, and then in Deuteronomy, the Israelites are commanded to blot out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. That they should hold on to this grudge, that you should remember what Amalek did to them as they were coming out of Egypt. That this is that they must hold this grudge for eternity until they can destroy them entirely, as they do in 1 Samuel 15. So tell me, is ambushing a group 400 years ago justification for genocide in the other direction?
Hold on. One more. Okay, I'm sorry. I sound like an idiot right now. Sorry.
Can't believe that we are currently trying to justify genocide right now. Crazy. Come on. I don't want to wait forever.
Sorry. The verse is, it's just blind judgment. Yeah, you're right.
But so the Amalekites, like, they waged war, sure. Like, there was some, like, skirmishes and some conflict. Does that justify slavery?
Does it justify slavery? No, probably not.
Okay. So then what's the explanation for, you know, why this God is instructing them to get slaves from the people around them?
Well, I'd say probably, I feel like if you're raised in a household, wouldn't that slowly convert you?
What?
Like, conversion, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, so you think that slavery is okay to force your religion on people?
No, I don't think it's okay.
So then why is God saying to do it?
Used for. Probably because, well, hold on, let me think.
I thought we were getting our morality from, you know, from these religions. And yet, according to these religions, slavery is fine if you're Jewish and you take a non-Jewish slave. Are we playing the guitar right now?
It helps me think, sorry.
It's fine.
How many Amalekites were there?
There's a whole people group.
Do we have a figure? Do we have a figure?
I can go look it up for you. I don't know. How many Amalekites were killed in 1 Samuel? Let me just Google it. Okay, so Saul gathered an army of 210,000 men. So it's probably lots of people, considering it took hundreds of thousands of people to do it.
Okay. So yeah, probably doesn't justify that then.
And we're supposed to get our morality from this book?
No, from God, not the book.
But God is the one who told them to do that.
Yeah.
So, and God is also the one that told
I'm-
people to take slaves, or that it's fine to take slaves anyway.
Yeah. I'm thinking real fast.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I have not really gone. That's a good point. Yeah. That's a really good point. Not gonna lie.
All right. Well, look, you go think about this. I'm gonna let you go.
Yeah.
And you know, when you thought about it some more, feel free to come up another week. Okay. Another
Yeah.
time. All right.
Awesome. Thank
Take
you.
care. Okay. I mean, like, hey, at least he was humble. That's humility is good. All right, we have. Let's read some super chats, then we'll bring up our next guest. Sorry, I just got to check something. Okay, from Chris Howell with the $10. My parents are super religious and believe each day was 1,000 years. Young Earth BS. So if this were true, we went 4,000 years before getting sun and stars, but had light still. Make it make sense. Oh, it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. From Grimmy with the $5. Morals based in authority generally lets one neglect their humanity and can promote unethical practices. True. Yeah, unless your morals are coming from within, then, you know, it's very, very easy to set aside your own values and just do whatever the authority says. From Chase with the $10. Don't fear someone who has a library and reads many books. You should fear someone who has only one book and he considers it sacred, but he has never read it. That's Nietzsche. This seems to be the problem. Yeah, that sounds about right. Honestly, it's unfortunate, but that is the case. From Pensive with the $20. Howdy, doctor. Here's more of my money. Well, thank you for giving me more of your money. From Skeptical Dilettante with the $5, or Dilettante. You should add the Windows XP sound to your soundboard to use on callers like this when they short circuit. That would be really funny. I should do that. From Christopher Sanford with £10. Blitz is being charitable. Exodus 21:21 does not say the slave recovers. Many scholars think the slave dies, but having survived a day or two indicates the death was accidental, hence no punishment. Right. So the slave could either recover or die as long as it's after the third day. And it just doesn't matter. From Flunk Waffle with the £2. Guy's about to get incinerated and he's oblivious. It happens. All right. So let us bring up our next guest. We have a guest from Discord, so let's bring up Papa's Grow. Papa's Grow, how's it going?
Hey, Dr. Blitz, how you doing?
I'm doing A-okay. Papa's, do you think that the universe was created?
I do, but this is kind of a weird subject because I'm not really on the religious side of it.
Okay. What side are you on with it?
I believe.
Sorry, you cut out one more time?
Can you hear me? Sorry.
No, I can hear you now.
Hold on just a moment. I'm just not hearing you for some reason.
Okay. Can you hear me?
I'm so sorry, Blitz. I don't
No.
know why my thing isn't working. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
One moment. Okay. I can hear you now.
Great. Okay. So why do you think that the universe was created?
Well, I was curious if you've ever watched or heard any of the teachings from Federico Fagin's Consciousness in the Quantum Field.
I haven't. I know who he is, but why should this mean that the universe is created?
Well, he tries to discuss that the two fundamentals in science are consciousness and free will.
That's cool. What does this have to do with the universe being created?
Well, that would be consciousness creating the universe by one wanting to know itself.
Okay, why should I believe that this is true?
I was just kind of getting in here to have like discussion with you on that to see what you thought.
I don't think that consciousness is fundamental, so I think that the foundation of the whole idea is false.
Well, that's good enough. Then I'll let you go to the next one.
All right, Papas, have a good one. All right, let's bring up a guest from TikTok. Let's talk to Zez. I wonder if Zez was a RuneScape player. Zez, how's it going?
Hey, how are you?
Do you ever play RuneScape, Zez?
Not really, no.
Okay, I figured I'd ask. Anyway, do you think that the universe was created?
Yes, I do, actually.
Okay, why so?
Well, I am a Muslim,
Okay.
and I have not really seen anyone provide any evidence against Islam that is, provable, basically.
So, do you think that everything in the Quran is true?
Well, yes, I do.
Okay. Do you think that the moon was split in half?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Why didn't the Chinese see it?
Well, I'm not sure because I wasn't there. But
Well, I would
it
have
is
seen
one
it. Apparently, the moon was over the mountains to the east at the time, which means that the moons would have been directly overhead in China. And the Chinese were very, especially during this time period, were very well known for being prodigious astronomers. They recorded all sorts of astronomical happenings, but they didn't record the moon splitting in two.
All right. Well, I understand your argument. But can you prove that it wasn't split just because some people
We have good
not
reason to
observed
think
being
that it
split?
wasn't split in two, because if it was split in two, we have good reason to suspect that the Chinese would have documented it.
Well, could you prove to me, regardless of Islam, regardless of all religions within the world, could you prove to me that the universe wasn't created?
That's a breakneck pivot. But yeah, having sufficiently debunked literalist Islam, no, I don't think that this is something that we have the data to prove. Well, okay, so I distinguish between being created and having a beginning. I think that these two things are different.
Yeah.
And so, in order to say that there is a creation, you would need a creator, and I think that having such a creator is in tension with having a beginning of time. If you have a beginning of time, then your creator can't have done anything before that. But because there was no before that, but if he couldn't have done anything, then he couldn't have created it. I also think that there's a tension with this creator not being made of matter or not having a body made of matter, because as far as we can tell, every mind that we've ever experienced, and minds are the kinds of things that do creations, every mind that we've ever encountered is a mind attached to a body. And so we are therefore positing that there exists some mind without a body, which is, heavily disfavored by the inductive evidence we have access to.
All right. Well, listen, I understand your argument when it comes to Islam. I believe in Islam because that is what I lean to, how I was brought up. I cannot articulate and give you full arguments when it comes to Islam because I'm not an Islamic scholar. I'm just a believer. But based on what I'm hearing from you, these are all subjective articulations unless you have objective arguments against this that are based on evidence and facts.
Do you know what inductive reasoning is? There's
No,
nothing
please tell me.
subjective about. There's
English
nothing.
is my
But to be
first
clear,
language.
there's nothing subjective about anything that I said. To be clear,
Well, listen. How can you prove to me that mathematics is objective?
I don't even know what you mean. I don't even think you know what you mean when you say that. Mathematics is a game that we came up with to describe things.
Yes, exactly.
I don't
That's
think
what
that
I'm
mathematics
saying.
exists out there in the world separate from human intellect or perhaps alien intellect.
That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is everything is subjective, even mathematics, which is just a form of just something we came up with to help us explain the universe. It is subjective. You cannot prove that mathematics is the best form.
It's a category error.
Yeah, but still,
You're making a mistake to say that you should be able to prove this. This is a category error.
What do you mean by that? But
What I
English
mean
not
is
my
that-
first
is
language.
that-
what is a category error?
What I mean is that mathematics isn't an explanation, right? Mathematics is a description.
Yeah, it's a tool, a methodology.
Right. So saying that it is objectively the best way to do, like, that's a category error.
Yeah, but I didn't claim it was objective. I claimed it was subjective.
You were saying you told me you can't prove that mathematics is objectively the right way to do X, Y, Z. That's like assuming that that's something I want to do is a straw man, and supposing that that is something that one hopes to do is a category error. It's in the wrong category of things.
I'm saying you cannot prove that mathematics is the best tool
I'm not making that
to prove
claim.
everything.
That's not my claim.
All right.
Where did I say? Like, I didn't say anything about that. I didn't say anything about mathematics.
I know. I'm saying that even mathematics, which we use to describe everything in our universe, as in science, mathematics, can we establish the fact that mathematics is used in science to describe
Yes, it
almost
is.
all the laws of the universe?
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm saying even mathematics, we cannot prove that this is the best form
Okay.
or best
Nobody said
tool
that
or
it was.
methodology.
Nobody said that it was.
I know. I'm
So
just
why are
using
you
this as
why are you bringing it
I'm
up?
just using it as an example.
As an example of what? What's the argument that you're making?
The argument that I'm making is even mathematics, which we cannot prove is the best tool or methodology to explain the universe, right? Even that isn't. Even with that, we cannot articulate an objective claim that creationism is false, even through mamathematics and evidence and
I'm
whatever.
not using
All we can
mathematics.
do-
I'm telling
I
you the
know, I
reason
know.
why I think creationism is false. I gave you the reasons. It didn't require mathematics. It's straightforward reasoning.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is even through that, all you can do is articulate subjective arguments and claims based on your thought
Arguments
process
aren't subjective. Arguments are arguments. Whether or not they are, like what the basis of those arguments are, could be subjective. Like the justification for various premises in those arguments can be subjective. But arguments are just strings of sentences.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. The basis is subjective. These are
Did you
thoughts
understand my
articulated.
objections?
Yes, I do.
Okay, can you repeat them back to me?
You're saying that arguments are arguments, but
Nope.
their
I'm talking
basis...
about my actual objections to creationism that I mentioned 5 minutes ago. Did you actually pay attention to them?
Which ones? You've made many.
I made 2.
Yeah, but you...
Can you repeat either of them?
The first argument you've done, the first one when we first started, was against Islam, and you used the moon splitting and how the Chinese
No,
hasn't
you asked me.
witnessed it.
You asked me why I think creationism is false. I gave you 2 arguments. Do you remember what they are?
I honestly didn't understand them quite
Okay.
thoroughly.
So then how can you say that they're subjective or objective or whatever if you didn't even understand them?
Well, because I didn't hear any evidence.
You clearly didn't
like-
hear them at all.
Well, could you please repeat them to me in simpler terms? Because English is not my first language, as I said to you before.
We should... Okay, we should have just started with that rather than going down the subjective stuff. Okay, here's one argument.
Yeah.
First premise, God has a mind. Second premise, minds have either changing states or unchanging mental states. Sorry, changing mental states or unchanging mental states. A mental state is just like the way that your mind is right now. So we can conclude that God, having a mind, has either a changing mental state or an unchanging mental state. Now, the next premise is that change only occurs in time. This is just kind of a good definition, like a fair definition of time, if you will. The next premise is that God exists outside of time. God is independent of time. And therefore, God must have an unchanging mental state. However, premise 6, acting upon one's will changes one's mental state. From, I have the will to do X and have not done X, to, I have fulfilled my will of doing X. And because acting upon one's will changes one's mental state, but God has an unchanging mental state, God cannot act upon his will. Next premise is that an agent is a being that has a will and can act upon it. Therefore, God is not an agent.
All right.
I.e., God is not a thing that can take actions.
All right. Can I ask you? By the way,
Did you track? Or
yeah, I got most of it in terms of God being an agent and whatnot. But what I want to clarify is I'm not arguing against you. I'm trying to understand your point and so forth.
Sure.
So these conclusions that you've just illustrated, are these conclusions you've come up with yourself, or is there like
the conclusions?
that
the conclusions logically follow from the premises.
No, I understand, but I'm saying, is this something you've come up with yourself, or is this from literature that you've read?
This is not an original argument to me. No.
All right.
This phrasing is original to me, just because I'm familiar with the argument, and so I wrote it down in a way that's, makes sense to me. But this is not. I'm not the first person to ever consider an atemporality argument against God.
Well, all right. Could you give me some literature to read so I can understand this argument more thoroughly?
There's an article on the Stanford Encyclopedia. But the argument's pretty straightforward. Hold on, let me find it. If you go to section 4 of the, and I know that this says eternity in Christian thought, but section 4 is not about Christianity, at least not necessarily. So if you go to section 4 and section 5, I guess sections 4 through 6, I guess, in the Stanford Encyclopedia article on eternity in Christian thought, then you'll find things related to what I'm referring to.
Eternity of Christian thought, correct?
Eternity in Christian thought.
In Christian thought. All right. Well, thank you very much. I wasn't.
But is there any? Because I can explain the premises if you'd like. If there was something that was confused, well, it was the one that was confusing to you.
Well, you speak quite fast because you're saying.
So God has a premise one.
And this and this.
So premise one, God has a mind. Do you agree or disagree?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. Premise 2, minds either change or they don't change.
All right.
Okay. Change only occurs in time.
All right.
God exists outside of time.
All right.
Acting upon one's will changes one's mental state.
All right.
An agent is a being that has a will and can act upon it.
All right.
Those are the premises. If you accept all of them, which you just did, then you have to accept the conclusion.
All right. Well, I can't accept them when I don't thoroughly understand them.
I was asking you which premises you didn't understand.
No. I understand.
And you just said, all right. I assumed that meant that you had no problem with it. Which premise did you have trouble with?
It's not that I had trouble with them. You were listing them, and I was just listening to them one by one.
So which of those do you not understand?
It's not that I do not understand them.
So you understand them all?
I understand them, but I must.
Okay, so which
explore
ones
them
do you
once.
which ones do you disagree with?
First of all, the idea of God having a mind, just as we are three-dimensional beings. Do you agree?
Well,
I do not
four-dimensional, but
know.
sure.
Four-dimensional, three-dimensional, whatever. I don't understand how God is. He's not described in a thoroughly in that kind of sense. I don't know how he exists, how he has a mind.
Look,
his mind
if you think
changes.
that God doesn't have a mind, then you're just not talking about God in the sense that anybody understands. You're just talking about like a book or some like abstract entity.
Speaking through you're speaking through assumptions. God has a mind. God must in turn change.
God
when
is
he does
defined
an
as
action.
God is defined as a certain kind of being with a mind. That's just what God is. That's just how it's defined. If you don't think that God has a mind, then you're just not talking about a being that has thoughts, that has a will, that can take actions.
Why must he have a mind to come up with thoughts?
Because thoughts exist within minds. That's where thoughts are. Thoughts are in minds.
Yeah, within humans, within living
just
organisms.
So a mind is just the kind of thing that can have thoughts.
Well, how do you know that God has thoughts?
Okay, if God does God have a will? Because a mind is also the kind of thing that can have a will.
Well, how do you know? How do you know just because a mind can have a will, God must have a mind?
A mind is the kind of thing that can have a will.
Yes, but
Can something without a mind have a will?
You're forcing human...
We're just defining, like a mind is the kind of thing that can have thoughts and wills and desires and...
Yes, a mind can have a
That's
will.
just what a mind is.
So a mind is defined as something that has a will.
A mind is defined as the kind of thing that can have thoughts and a will and desires. And I'm sure there's other things that I can't think of right now, but...
So yes, we established the fact that a mind can have these things.
No, that's not what I said. A mind is the kind of thing that does have those things.
Yes, a mind is the kind of thing that does have those things.
So
but
if something has a mind, so we are just saying, look, what we're calling a mind is the kind of thing that has a will and can have thoughts and perhaps can have desires. If it has those things, then that is what a mind is.
All right. All right, but we still haven't established the fact how you prove the creator is forced within our rules and our premises.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Either God has a mind or not. If God doesn't have a mind, then it's not a creator, because creations are done by minds.
Well, that is an assumption in itself.
It's not an assumption. It's just what it means for a thing to be a creation. A creation is an intentional act of construction, perhaps, or a creational act of a thing beginning to exist. And intentions require mental states, and mental states require minds.
Things have been created without intention.
It's not a creation. If there's no intention involved at all in the beginning of a thing existing, then it's not a creation. What, you think you can accidentally create something? No, you can accidentally produce something, perhaps, but you can't accidentally create something. A creation. There's a reason why the word creation and creativity are related.
All right. Well, look, when it comes to all of this, when you're using definitions, this is the definition of this, this is the definition of that. Who have come up with those definitions?
We do. Words have meanings.
Yeah, exactly. We do.
Yeah, words mean things.
How can you say that all these definitions that we've come up with are objective and
that's a category error. Definitions aren't objective. Language is a construct made by humans.
Yeah.
Definitions are just what we mean when we say words. So when we say God, we mean a kind of entity with a mind that is in some way responsible for the origins of the universe, or as a foundation of the universe. That's what we mean by the word God. When we say a mind, what we mean is the kind of thing that can have a will, or perhaps has a thought, or perhaps has desires, It's the kind of thing that has those. When we mean a mental state, we mean the state of affairs of a mind. That's just what we mean when we say these words. So this is not a question of objective whatever. Words have meanings. When we say those words, they mean things. And so if you believe that God has a mind, that means something. And if we can derive logically what follows from that meaning.
Well, look. How can you say that these rules apply to
what rules? We're not talking about rules. We're talking about what words mean.
I know, but when I say rules, I mean when you say if a mind has a will, then it must when it enacts upon that will, then there is a change in that mind and so forth. From what I'm understanding from you,
mm-hmm.
How do you know these things apply to a being that is inconceivable to us in a higher dimension, in a higher whatever, not in the same plane of view as us humans?
How do you know that your hands exist?
My hands exist because I see them.
How do you know it's not just an illusion? How do you know that that you're not just a brain in an incomprehensible universe, and your brain is just being fed external input from a computer hooked up to your optical cortex or whatever? Like, words just mean things. We mean certain things by words, and then we can use those words to understand and to form and to come to conclusions about the way the things that we're describing are.
Well, could you tell me how you believe the universe came to be?
I don't know if the universe had a beginning. It's not my claim.
All right. You're just claiming that
it wasn't created. Yes.
That it wasn't created. Well, I don't see how you could prove it wasn't created and how you could prove it was created.
I did just give an argument that shows that if God has a mind and is timeless, then God is not an agent. And in order to create something, you have to be an agent, because you have to be able to act upon your will to create in particular. So God couldn't, if God has a mind and God exists outside of time, is timeless, then God cannot be the creator of the universe, because God cannot be the creator of anything.
All right. Well, thank you for your time. I will read what you gave me. Does that literature you gave me from the Stanford Encyclopedia cover that?
It's not that exact argument, but it'll get you the ideas.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks for being here, Says.
Yeah.
From Juiced Vandenover with the €5. If the moon was split as written in the Quran, gravity would instantly pull it back together. Story disproven. Not unless it was split a lot. Carissa sending 20 Dr. Blitz gift memberships. Carissa really favoring them verts. The verts are really getting the vast majority of the memberships today. I don't know, man. If you want to sign up to be a horrors member, then you got to beat out on Carissa's 20 gift memberships. By the way, now 20 people in the vertical live stream on YouTube now have access to my debate notes, which have access to this particular argument that I just ran. In fact, this argument can be found on the debate notes in full. Oops. Right here. Argument from atemporality. And there's more. There's a lot of arguments and a lot of sources and a lot of counter arguments and stuff. If you want access to that, consider becoming a member. It's like $4 or $5 a month. And thank you so much, L'Oreal. Not L'Oreal. Carissa, as always. Also, thank you, L'Oreal, for being here, because you're always very supportive. From Mo the Quantifier with the $10. I'm curious about your thoughts against non-local fundamental consciousness, because it will help my own thinking. Thank you for entertaining streams. I just don't think that consciousness is fundamental. I just don't think it is. All right, let me double check, make sure I didn't miss any cash apps. I did not. So let's move on to wait a minute, let me just double check. Let's move on to our next guest. Let's talk to, we have a lot of people named David in the guest. box. Let's talk to Son of David. Son of David, how's it going?
Let's talk to Son of David.
Please do.
Hold up. You also said my name wrong. It's Sono David.
Oh, Sono David. I'm sorry. I missed. Yeah, you're right. Son of David.
Hi.
How's it going?
I'm not trying to be right. It's just my name. But anyways, could I know it's your like you're hosting this, but can I get an can I understand what you mean by creationism is false? Like,
Yeah, what I mean is that our universe was not
What do you mean
created.
by the word?
I mean that our universe does not have a creator.
Can I finish my question, please?
Sure, but I did answer it.
Not really, but anyways, can you define like what creationism is? Is that like a basis for all religions? Like, are you blanket terming like all religions?
I'm saying that the universe does not have a creator. Creationism is the view that the universe has a creator.
There's just no God at all. There's no God at all.
Or there's no, and it's even broader than that. There's no simulator. We're not like a simulation in like some guy's basement.
I'm not saying like simulations or anything. I'm just
I
saying,
am.
like,
I'm saying there is no creator for our universe, whether it's a god or not.
Okay, so you're just saying there's like no God exists, right? All religions are just wrong.
Yep, that's part of it.
No, it's not even a part. That's just what you're saying.
No, it's broader than that. It also says that we are not in a simulation, for example, which is not a
so
religion.
If we were in a simulation, then like it would be some like techno god, is what I'm hearing.
No, it wouldn't be a god. It could just be a guy in his basement who simulated our universe.
So he would be our god. He would be our creator.
a god is a metaphysical entity. It's not just a guy in a basement.
How do I say this? When I say God, it's like some omniscient being that we don't even know of.
Okay, so the guy who simulated our universe would not be omniscient. If our universe was a simulation.
We wouldn't know he existed, and
he wouldn't be omniscient because he doesn't know everything.
He knows everything about our universe.
Not necessarily.
That's what I mean by omniscient.
That's what
yes, he does. If he's created the universe,
that's strictly not like I don't know why you're debating me on this, because this is just obviously not true. Like, you can simulate things and not know what the outcome will be.
It's not true.
It's
You're
obvious.
Just trying to rage bait me.
It's obviously not.
It's obvious.
No, I mean it's obviously not true that a simulator.
If it's so obvious,
Son of David, chill. You're at a 9. Drop it down to a 6.
No,
so
because you're just saying my name wrong.
If our universe, I just said Sono David.
You're trying to rage bait.
If our universe is being simulated by some guy in his mom's basement, that guy doesn't necessarily know what will happen in the future of his simulation. He's not omniscient.
No, not knowing the future doesn't not make you omniscient.
It literally does. Omniscient means knowing everything.
Omniscient means you could be, yeah, but future. How do I say this? You would be able to predict the future. That would make you omniscient. That person
might not be able to. Maybe they're dumb and they're just good at programming.
Predicting. How do I say this? Is predicting the stock market making you like a future predictor? Something like that. Like, if you could predict the future with the stock market, does that make you God?
No.
I use the stock market because it's like the easiest way.
No, obviously it doesn't make you God. Also, the guy who's running the simulation, let's call him Jim, he doesn't have to be able to predict what's going to happen in the future. That's not built into the simulation hypothesis.
All right, so can me and you agree on this? If this man's able to make a simulation where he can, I shouldn't say fully control a universe, but he can 99.99% control a universe, because the other 0.01% would just be free will at that point. Would he not just be the smartest person for being able to create a universe?
No, because there could be things that he couldn't predict. But you don't even believe this. I'm just telling you that the statement creationism is false.
Hey.
Okay, I can just turn you down, bro. I'm just telling you that when I say creationism is false, it's broader than just religions are false. That's all I'm saying. It includes non-religious positions too.
When you say creationism, right? You're just roping all religions into one broad statement.
More than just religion. And more than religions. Okay. You understand that? Okay.
What's the second part to that? So if
the non-religious simulation hypothesis.
What's the other? Okay, so simulations are the other 50%.
Yeah, or other non-religious creation accounts like aliens or whatever.
Layman terms your definition. It's either it's like a 50-50. We're either not controlled.
It's not a 50-50.
No, just listen, because it's the easiest way to explain it per se. But it's either 50% of the time it's a god, or 50% of the time it's a matrix.
I'm not making that claim.
That's what you just said.
It's literally not what I just said.
You just agreed with me. You just said it's either god or it's either a matrix dude.
Yeah, that's not that doesn't make it 50-50. Just because there's two options, that doesn't make it 50-50.
On your creationism.
That doesn't make it 50-50. 2 options doesn't mean 50-50.
Can I ask you one more question? Because you're obviously you don't like having other people.
You can ask questions, but presumably you think that there's a God, so we can just talk about that if you want.
No, I never said that. Now you're assuming.
Do you think that there's a God?
I think there is a God. Yes.
Okay.
Like an omniscient.
So then we can just talk about that if
watching.
you want.
All right. So would you not be afraid of some like omniscient being watching over you all the time?
If it existed, I would be. But I don't think it exists.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So you just don't believe. That's what I mean.
Yeah, I don't believe in a God. Yeah.
You're like a Scientologist. That's
no,
that's what
Scientology is religion.
No, I'm not saying you're based within the faith of Scientologists. You're just a Scientologist.
A Scientologist is a member of the Church of Scientology.
No. What does Scientology follow? Do you know?
It follows the Church of Scientology.
No.
They follow. Their book is called like Dianetics. They follow an author named L. Ron Hubbard.
You don't have to explain to me who wrote their book of religion. I'm just saying, like, do you know?
So that's what Scientologists follow. Yeah.
No, you're just telling me who wrote the book.
Well, the book that they follow is called Dianetics.
No.
Yeah.
Tell me what you know about the faith of Scientology.
All I know is what I saw from South Park.
Okay, so you don't care.
No, but I'm not a Scientologist, so like obviously I don't care about it. I don't care about Scientology now.
Let me tell you something. What I'm hearing from you is like if somebody's smarter than you, you just instantly shut up. Holy shit, I'd just be being mean at that point. But you would instantly just say, no, they're not smarter than me. No, I have a PhD, so they can't be smarter than me. That's what you.
This crash out is iconic, by the way.
How is it a crash out?
Because you're now becoming meta. Because you don't actually want to defend your worldview. And so instead, you're attacking my credentials, you're attacking my personality, because you just don't want to talk about the actual content here.
That's what you're doing with
Have you noticed that I haven't brought up my PhD once in this entire live stream?
It's written all over your shit, man. Like,
it's in my username, yeah, but that's just my username.
This is what.
So anyway, do you want to defend the God that you believe in, or do you just want to keep trying to rage me? Because like I'm way more patient than you could ever hope. Yeah, I can hope and I can believe because I follow a religion. Right. Yeah. So why do you think that there's creationism?
Belief and hope is are.
Why do you think that there's a creator?
Entwined. Because that's just what I was born into.
Oh, so you just believe whatever your parents told you?
No.
Oh, okay. So then why does it matter what you were born into?
No, now you don't want me to answer your question.
Oh, well, I didn't know you were answering my question, but go ahead.
No. Yeah, I am answering your question.
Please, go ahead.
Why would I just blindly follow whoever? I mean, obviously, I'm gonna have a little bit more trust and faith in my parents, so whatever they follow, I'm gonna follow. But there was a time where I didn't go, "Wow, religion is this big thing that we should all be following." Because if we're being honest, like if I could just start talking to God, I would be like, "Hey God, can you just summon a fucking block of gold in front of me?" Like the best way I could explain God to you is like Minecraft Steve in creative mode with command blocks. Like he could just do that shit. You laugh at it, but it's like the easiest way to explain it to somebody like you.
Why should I think that such a being exists?
Why can't you believe something like that exists? You're so smart.
Well, I like to believe things for reasons.
Can I? Okay.
You asked a question, I'm answering it. I like to believe things for reasons. So you should give me a reason why I should think it's true.
So you're just ditching your humanity is what I'm hearing.
That's a cool straw man. Why should I believe it's true?
No, it's not a straw man.
It definitely
is.
It's
not a straw man. So you have all these people who make their own faiths and beliefs in their religions, and then you just go up to them and be like, "You're wrong because I said you're wrong."
To be clear, I don't go up to anybody. They come to me. You came to me.
You're right. I'm not saying you're wrong, but you're the type of person to do that. You're probably the type of person to go around. Nope.
I mean, I don't. Like, I do my own thing here. If people want to talk to me, they can come to my live stream, but I'm not going to go and find other people. I'm not going to go and find people and harass them. That's just not my way.
I never
now,
said
anyway,
harass them.
Do you want to explain why I should think that God exists?
I've explained.
What is the reason?
I've explained it a lot.
I know you explained why you think God exists because you were born into it, but why should I believe it?
No. Oh, yeah, because I was born into it. So I was like socially normalized within something.
Yep.
Right. So how were you brought up? Can I ask how you were brought up?
I was brought up in a Jewish household.
So you've grown. We're both Jewish because my name's David, and
Well, I mean, I know a lot of non-Jewish Davids, but sure.
Yeah, well, Kaputski. Like, do you want me to give you a?
No, I believe you. I believe you. Like, I'm not.
Yeah. So you have faith in me, is what I'm telling you.
No, I just believe you. It's not faith. You told me something. I have no reason to think that it's false. It's not a particularly high stakes claim.
That's faith.
It's definitely
Your
not faith, but
in me
okay.
is trusting.
No, faith and trust are different, right?
I gave you a sentence, not a definition. Your faith in me is trusting.
I don't even know what that sentence
That's what
means.
I don't want to bring up IQ to you because it would just be the most nonsensical
I know you don't.
conversation on. Yeah, because it's a 130 for me.
I'm so sorry for you.
Oh yeah, I'm so smart. That's why I'm fearful of God. Like, why would God make me so smart?
No, I said I'm sorry for you.
Why are you sorry for me?
Because it's a little on the low end, don't you think?
Right. You have to antagonize and try to...
You started it, man.
Oh, now we're being children, right? If you
were the one who wanted to
really-
bring up IQ.
That's why I joked about it.
Okay. Anyway, so what's the
Because
reason why I
knew-
should think that
knew
God
it would lead
exists?
to that. You're like a voice box, like literally a record on repeat. Probably on
Well,
TikTok.
I just like to stay
It's
on
just
track.
what it is.
I just like to stay on track,
Like-
you know.
How do I say this? Do you think college is the end all be all to like all knowledge basis?
Obviously
Or-
not. Anyway, can you give me
How
the
do I say- No,
reason
no.
why I
Let me-
should
let me
think
talk.
that God exists?
So if you've thought about that, obviously you've thought of how churches and religion isn't the end all be all, right?
What are you talking about? I just want you to
No,
tell me
just
why
listen
you
to my
think.
point. Just listen to my point. Just
Why
listen
should
to
I
my
think
point.
that
Don't
God
cut me
is
off.
real?
Is real.
You have such a hard time like answering this question.
I can't prove and or disprove.
I'm not asking
it.
for proof. I'm asking for evidence.
Exactly, you're asking for proof.
No,
And I
I'm asking for
cannot-
evidence. Do you not know the difference?
What's the difference? What's the difference between proof?
Proof
and
is
evidence?
definitive. Evidence increases or decreases your your credence in a particular view.
All right, we're whipping out Google.
Okay.
What's the difference? No. Difference. I'll read you the.
Are you saying
Google
no to
definition.
yourself? Because I didn't say anything.
No, I'm talking to you because you want to keep trying to cut me off. What's the difference?
I literally didn't say anything. This is an iconic crash out.
Okay. Proof and what was it? Proof and
Starts with an E.
evidence.
There you go.
Evidence refers to facts, data, or clues supporting a claim. Proof is final conclusive results. So guess what?
Mm-hmm.
Proving something needs evidence. So
It can.
quite honestly, what is the quite can?
Yeah, you can prove
You're trying
things
to
without
skew
like
a definition.
You can prove
You're
things without
skewing a-
evidence.
You're skewing a common definition to try to one up people. That's what I'm
No,
trying
I mean
to
like
tell
when you do mathematical proofs, you're not like providing
We're
evidence.
not
You're just
talking
making a
about
deductive
mathematics
argument.
because if we're like to the last guy you were talking about, the Arabic man, we could go and say, where are the Arabic numerals? Where are the Roman numerals? If they've come up with their own mathematics systems on their own, why don't we still study those today and not just use the one basis that we use
What
today?
are you talking about? I was just giving you an example of how we can prove things without
but
using
you-
evidence.
You just brought up mathematics. and I
Yeah, it's
gave
an
you two
example
other
of how you
examples.
can prove things
Yeah, and
without
I
using
gave you
evidence.
two other examples how other cultures or
What are you,
not religions, but
are you not
just
tracking, or
cultures. I am tracking. I'm
can you
tracking your
explain why I
conversation,
brought up
and you
mathematics?
Keep bringing up buzzwords in like smart man's terms for some reason, so try to throw me off.
Buzzwords,
Really annoying.
smart man's
You
terms.
Are you tracking?
It just seems like you're not.
I am. I brought up.
So
okay,
then why?
so how about
Can you
this?
explain to me why I
Why
brought
don't?
up
No.
mathematics?
Listen. Yeah. Can I bring up something else then? When you bring up
Sure, but
mathematics,
please answer
why
my
don't we
question.
Still. Okay. Yeah, I will. After
I'd like you to do it
an answer.
before you do
I'm
that.
giving you an answer.
Sure,
I'm
go
giving you
ahead.
an answer. It's a long-winded answer, but you obviously don't like that.
All right, sure.
So
go
why
ahead.
don't we still study Arabic numerals and Roman numerals? Why don't we use their facts and bases for mathematics?
We do use Arabic numerals, turns out.
Where and when?
The number system that you know, those are Arabic numerals.
What I'm saying.
We don't use Roman
Why don't-
numerals
okay,
because
so-
they're not amenable to a decimal system, and the decimal system is really efficient for doing quick arithmetic.
So one was better than the other, huh?
Yeah, Arabic numerals are better than Roman numerals.
So
yes.
we should just go around now. So let's let me talk. So we should now go around. So let's just take it off the basis of Arabic and Roman numerals because
To be clear,
I gave
weren't you
an
answering my
idea.
question?
No, I gave you an idea.
Weren't you
This is
trying to
part
answer
of
my question?
This is a part of my question and answer. Can I finish?
I didn't want a question. I wanted an answer to my question, which was,
Well,
why did I
can't
bring up
keep questioning.
mathematics?
Okay, so you don't want any questions and you don't want any answers, is what I'm hearing.
Well, I would like an answer to the question that I asked.
You just want to stay ignorant because you think you're smarter.
I want an answer to the question that I asked, which is very basic. I was just trying to check if you were tracking.
That's why I'm trying. It's not a basic question.
It's a super basic question.
Sir,
I can tell you what the answer is. Do you want me to,
okay,
tell you what the answer is?
What's the opposite of super basic? Super complex.
Do you want me to
not.
explain to you what the explanation is for
you
why
so
I brought up
very
mathematics?
Smart. We both know the stupid game you're trying to play.
Do you want me to
stop?
Do you want me to answer the question for you? Because I can answer it for you. So
Yeah,
the reason why
and stupid.
apparently, so the reason why I brought up
Oh,
mathematics.
I'm so smart.
There's a crash out. So the reason why I brought up mathematics is because you made the claim. You made the claim that all proof requires evidence. I gave an example, a counterexample of. I'm
Proof
pretty
could
sure you
just be
did.
from word of mouth. Like some guy could just tell me something, and if other people believe him, I'll probably believe him. But if he, I don't know, starts lying rampantly about something that I believe in, I'm not gonna believe him. That's just
So to be clear, that's just not what you said. You read the definitions of proof, you read the definition of evidence, and then you said
because
proof
I was trying to
requires
get
evidence.
common ground on
Right? You said proof
definitions.
requires evidence.
Wow,
I gave
that's
you an
so wrong
example.
of me.
You said proof requires evidence. I gave you an example of a proof, of the kind of proof that we can do in mathematics that doesn't require evidence. So it's just not the case that proof requires evidence. Although typically if we talk about like empirical proof, then we are talking about things that require evidence. So I would like the either empirical evidence or perhaps the historical evidence or some kind of evidence that would justify a belief in a God. I would love you to give me that, if you could.
If God is omniscient, how could we... Okay, if none of us could be omniscient, how can we explain the feeling or mental state of being omniscient? We know that what it means, but how could we either be it or feel it if we are not God? Maybe if I just dumb religion down to like a net zero for both of us.
I'm not sure. I was asking for evidence.
No, you're not sure now. Now you're not sure.
I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure I was asking for evidence, but then you just asked me a
give
question.
You evidence of some omniscient being.
Okay, so you can't give me evidence that God exists, is what you're telling me.
Yeah. Yeah,
okay.
I can't.
Then it seems like there's not really a good reason to believe that it's real.
The faith and belief systems of other religions who have been around for millennia, per se, and we don't even know the ones that have been around.
By the way,
since
millennia
10,000.
is already plural.
Really?
Yeah.
You're telling me when I put an S on the end of a word, it makes plural?
No,
Thank
so
God you
millennium is
explained
singular,
to me.
millennia is plural. You don't
Wow,
need to
what
say
I just said.
millennias.
You just defined what I said.
Okay, whatever you say.
I'm just so yeah, whatever I say, you're right. I'm so stupid, right? I'm just stupid. Compared to you, I'm just some well, you have to define everything I say, so I'm gonna take it that way.
Go ahead.
I said millennias for a reason. I explained why there's an S on the end, and then you still try to define millennia. Like, what?
Yeah, millennia is already plural.
I know. There's been multiple millenniums. Wow. You're so. You want me?
There's only so many options, and you got them both wrong.
No. Do you want me to be vague so you can just be right? Like, I don't. This is an argument. I don't want you to be right. You just. That's just how it works. You've obviously taken an argumentative class, debate class.
Nope,
So
never
it's
did.
like, oh, okay. I'm sorry. You just have a PhD in college, so obviously you've had to have an argument or a
PhD in
debate with somebody
college?
else. Yes, you've had to have a debate with somebody else in college. That's just what it is. You've had to write an essay or a paper or a doctrine on something. Yes.
Yeah, you have to write papers sometimes when you're at a university.
Yeah. And what am I telling you? You've had to debate somebody else. You've probably had to debate your professor.
So writing a paper is a debate? Got it.
Yeah, it is. Writing down stuff is a debate. You have in your stream,
Writing down stuff is a debate.
topics.
You guys heard it here first.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
So are
yeah. So just to be clear, you said that you can't give me any evidence for this God existing, right?
That's not what I said.
Okay. So can you give me the evidence for God
That's what you
existing?
said. I don't know if there's any evidence. What if I say that?
Well, then it seems like you can't offer me anything.
Hold on. What
Did you want me to answer your question?
No, I can actually give you evidence. What if I show you the book of the Bible and the Quran? What would you say?
I would say.
What's the Jewish?
Do you want me to answer that?
I don't know what the Jews. I don't know the Jews.
I thought you were Jewish.
That's why I said it sounds wrong. I don't know what their the Turan.
How do you not know this?
Turan.
Did you have a bar mitzvah?
My bad, I don't. My bad, I don't study the.
Did you have a bar
Jewish
mitzvah?
religion. No, actually. So what happened was here. Let me tell you why I don't believe it or don't believe why I don't follow the faith of Judaism. So my grandmother came from Poland, like her side, when the Nazis were taking over. So that's why we're Christian, because we assimilated into the Christian belief.
So then why'd you say you're Jewish? You're Christian.
Because I'm from Jewish descent.
Okay, so you have one grandmother who's Jewish. That doesn't make you Jewish.
That does. I'm still from Jewish descent. Just because I don't follow the faith doesn't.
You can be whatever. You can be.
Judaism.
You can have one ancestor. Look. Okay.
No, don't say one in this.
So
no,
I have one ancestor. I have one great grandfather.
She's still Jewish.
I have one great grandfather who was not Jewish, right? He was he was born in Hungary, but his family was like kind of just Central European, kind of generically had some Czech in him, had some Polish in him, had some Slovakian in him. That would, like, I could say that I have some Czech ancestry, but to say that I'm Czech would be kind of crazy.
I mean, not really.
It'd be a little crazy.
Turkey, you still technically descend from Turkey, like.
Turkey?
Yes, you're still.
I don't have any ancestry from Turkey.
You just said. So why bring? Wait, was it your uncle or your father?
My great grandfather had some Czech descent.
Some Czech. Okay, so you're probably like 5%, like one, maybe like
about 4% actually. About 4%, but yeah.
Oh, okay, I was off by 1%. I'm so
yeah, but that's not Turkey.
Your equation wrong. You still have it.
Do you think that Czech is Turkish?
The Czech Republic. I didn't say it was.
You definitely said Turkey earlier.
Because you're saying Turkey.
I never said Turkey.
Czechoslovakia is. I'm not a fucking idiot.
I never said Turkey. Czechoslovakia doesn't exist. It used to exist.
What do you think the Czech? Yeah. What do you think the Czech Republic is?
It's an independent country.
Or Czechoslovakia. Sorry.
Czechoslovakia doesn't exist anymore. It hasn't existed for 33 years actually.
Yeah. It's a republic. Czechoslovakia. Wow.
Czechoslovakia hasn't existed for 33 years.
Because they renamed it.
No, the country split in two.
So like East and West Germany. Tell me something.
Kind of, but they're separate countries.
Kind of.
Yeah, there's the Czech Republic, and then there's
so they
Slovakia.
Took a different path from Germany.
And these are two different countries now.
You see how I can derail your entire conversation about creatism, or I don't even know your.
I thought you said you had an IQ of 130, and you can't read.
I do. I don't want to read your definition because it's just.
It's not even a definition. It was just a word.
Words have definitions.
Words do have definitions. You weren't reading a definition. You were reading a word.
How do you think we use say this Latin basises? What do you think Latin basises are? Do you want me to start
Latin? Do you mean etymology?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Sorry, I don't know the word.
It seems like there's a lot of things you don't know.
Like what?
What the word etymology is, or what the pronunciation of the word creationism is.
I was saying it right last time. I just don't want to say your word.
My word. Okay, it belongs to me now.
You're. I didn't.
It's mine.
I mean, the way you act, you definitely claim words. It's like, how else should I talk to you?
Like a normal person? I don't know.
We're not. Define normal. Like
not a crash out within 2 minutes. I don't know.
Because you're just trying to say that all of humanity is wrong for even believing in faith and religion.
Well, I'm trying to say that all religious beliefs are wrong. Basically. Yeah.
Oh! Okay, so your entire family for believing in Judaism is wrong?
Yeah, they were wrong.
You just sound like Hitler, by the way. You sound like a Nazi.
This is delusional. Saying that somebody has an incorrect belief is not the same as saying that it's okay to like
crazy to say.
Genocide people.
No, I never brought up genocide.
You said I'm like Hitler.
I never said
which
you
is
would
crazy
kill people.
Because I'm more Jewish than you are.
I never said you would kill. What does that have to do with anything?
It's just weird to compare a Jewish person to Hitler when you're a Christian.
Both me and your families had to escape from.
No, my family didn't have to escape the Holocaust. My family was already in the United States.
Okay, so you just don't have. Oh my God, you're crazy. That's the best way to describe
I'm crazy.
You
Got it.
are crazy. when I brought up my grandmother's family coming from Poland to escape Nazism, right?
Tragic.
What? Yeah, right? So technically speaking, I have like third generational experience, which is very little to none, which I can understand how you look at that because you were in America, so you didn't even have to
my family moved to the States in the late 1800s.
So you didn't have to go through any of it, is what I'm hearing. You were already
my family escaped the Holocaust, which was, it's good that my family escaped the Holocaust. Yeah.
You didn't escape it. No, you were already in America.
So okay, so traditionally the way the word escape is used is yes, they weren't in the Holocaust, but what I mean by escape is that they were not in a position to escape it.
They dodged a bullet. Is what
there you go.
They got lucky.
Yeah,
Do you want to say lucky?
Absolutely, they got lucky.
So what you're doing is you're taking out some sort of like unsolicited rage on me.
I don't have any rage. I mean, like, I'm not the one who's been like screaming and crying for the last. How long have you been
crying. On? I'm screaming.
25 minutes or so.
Yeah, because you're really funny. You're just really
I know I'm funny. My wife doesn't think I'm funny, but that's because she hears my jokes all the time. But everybody else thinks I'm funny.
You have a god complex.
I have a god. That's ironic.
I know, right? That's why I say it. You have a god complex. If you were given a position of power, listen. If you were given any position of the power, you would do the same thing governmental and political systems would do. And it would be to keep that power for as long as possible and pass it down to your bloodline without giving any other chance to any other person.
We're mind reading now.
Nope, never said I was a mind reader.
You said that this is a feature of my psychology. At least you implied it.
Oh, no, that's just how
you said if you had power, this is what you would do, which is actually, it's even better. It's even more impressive than mind reading. It's mind reading and predicting the future.
Holy shit, then I'm God.
Apparently.
Yep, well, I'm God.
I guess you don't exist. Checks out.
Well, I'm talking to you. So
could be all a figment of my imagination, I guess.
Real.
Well, son of David.
Just one crazy trip.
Thanks for being here. What a wild crash out. Dude crashed out from like moment one. L'Oreal, I guess I was mind reading. All right, let's read some super chats and move on to our next guest. So, hold on. Did I already read that one? I'm pretty sure I already got this one. Didn't I already get this one? I must have already gotten this one. Maybe not, actually. Well, but if I didn't, huge W for Carissa for supporting the horrors, sending the 20 gifted Dr. Blitz Debunks memberships, which means that 20 more people now have access to the debate notes. We're also working on getting you into a special place on the Discord server, so you'll have a special members-only chat. From the Greater Fool Band, with the $10, he thinks Scientology is based on science because he's dumb. Indeed he is. I would be much surprised if his IQ was 130. From Chase Martin Physics, in the most serious sense I can say this, not roasting or making fun of the caller at all, he needs help. I know people with this mixture of arrogance, ignorance, and anger issues genuinely seek help. I'm actually not sure if he needs help. I think that, well, okay, he does need help. He should go to therapy, but I don't think he's mentally ill. I think what's happening is, and this is fairly common, like this kind of, and you'll see it on the internet all over the place. You'll have somebody who was like perhaps gifted as a kid, and then for whatever reason, they didn't follow through. They burnt out, or they didn't get the support they needed or whatever. And so he's latched on to this idea that he's a smart guy, despite having never made anything of that. And so you end up with arrogance mixed with ignorance. And maybe that's what happened to him. From Mr. Pecha with the $20, very, very generous, I appreciate that. Between this guy and the guy who thought you could dynamically zoom a pre-recorded video earlier this week, your view count is going to be great. Arabic numerals, God's most secure soldier. I do not understand how that guy thought that you could zoom in a pre-recorded video. That was wild. By the way, if you haven't seen that video, I actually don't think it's been uploaded yet. Yeah, that video hasn't been uploaded yet, but it will be, I promise. It was really, really good. If you want to go watch the live, it was from, it was near the end of the live on the 18th. So I think it was from Monday. From the Greater Fool Band with the $20. Thank you so much. It's very, very generous. I'll say it, he's crazy dumb. And he seemed kind of dumb. From Garain with the $2, this caller is so bad faith. Yeah, he was. From Ion GD with the $2, 130 IQ, by the way, you seem to forget. From Chase with the $2, proud of my degree in college. I studied college. Yep, my PhD is in colleges. From Grimmy with the $5, if God is a teacher, are religious individuals just trying to blow the teacher to get a better grade instead of focusing on their test? That's a take. Maybe I'll have to use that. From Mr. Kiki with the $5, guest is so Dunning-Kruger that he's looped around and now he has imposter syndrome on behalf of everyone smarter than him. By the way, Dunning-Kruger is it's entered the common parlance to just mean somebody who's dumb who thinks they're smart. But my understanding is actually the original Dunning-Kruger study just wasn't that good. From Dexter with the $2, Blitz, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Yeah, I've heard that joke 100 times. From L'Oreal with the $50, how much to drop this idiot? I did drop him 10 seconds before he sent this, so, much appreciated for the post hoc donation. From Boswellia Socata with the $5, more people have been raped, killed, or enslaved in the name of religion than pretty much anything else, and they say we wouldn't have morals without it. That's true. Probably to an extent. I mean, it'd be hard to quantify, but I wouldn't be surprised if that were the case. From Chase Martin Physics again, remember kids, eat your school, stay in drugs, and don't do vegetables. Chase, you're so clever. From Chase again with the $2, I do want to clarify, I meant therapy, not illness. Okay, fair. And from our last super chat for now, from Sydney Raptor with $2 Australian, Son of David is 100% smugnerant. Smugnerant is a good word to describe what happened there. Somebody gifted 10 fan clubs in TikTok. I didn't know that you could do that, but hey, thank you for doing that. I don't know who did that. Let me go see if I can find it. It didn't pop up on my little feed, but huge. We're working on getting the people on TikTok access to the debate notes, by the way. So thank you so much. It's very, very generous. Let's see if I can scroll up through this. Can I scroll up through these? I don't see it, but it may have been from a while ago, and I may have just missed it. I'm sorry. Yeah, that was from half an hour ago. Thank you so much, though, to the anonymous person who donated it. I do appreciate you a lot. It was Wasabi Lord? Oh, well, Wasabi Lord, I can't find the message, but thank you so much for sending the superfan box. It helps me out a lot. Very, very meaningful. All right, let's bring up our next guest. All right, let's talk to Reflect King. Reflect King, how's it going?
Hey, it's going good. Can you hear me okay?
I can, but it looks like there's going to be a lot of background audio of me talking, or maybe not. So Reflect King.
Oh, I just plugged my headphones in.
Oh, okay, great. No, that's excellent then. Reflect King, do you think the universe was created?
Yeah, I definitely think it was created.
Okay, so I don't. Why do you think the universe was created?
Well, I think the universe is created because there is a God. And God exists necessarily because of a proof that I have in a syllogistic form. So,
yeah, sure. Let's hear it. By the way, actually, before you do, I just want to shout out Shay for sending $20 on Cash App for suffering for her entertainment. It's much appreciated. All right, let's hear the syllogism, and I'm going to write it down as you go, so we can have something on the screen to talk about. Is that fair?
Yeah, perfectly fine.
Okay, so here's a notepad. All right. Oops. Where'd the notepad go? Okay, there's the notepad. All right, let's hear the syllogism.
Okay, so. The first premise is a two premise and one conclusion syllogism. First premise is anything which can be conceived of exists. Premise 2, God is conceivable. Conclusion, therefore God exists.
Okay.
So do you have, as long as premise 1, premise 2 are true?
Yeah, that's valid. This is a valid syllogism. Why should I think that premise 1 is true?
Well, you should accept it because the atheist, and this is obviously an internal critique, but the atheist affirms that something exists, right? You believe that something exists, And
Yep.
whatever is affirmed to exist, it must be known through experience. Whatever is genuinely conceived of is present within experience.
Hold
and
on.
Therefore,
It seems like that you're assuming that atheists are tied to empiricism, which I don't hold.
Idealism, I would say.
No, I mean, neither are true. But
Well,
the claim
it's defensible.
that things can only be known to exist through experiences, that's empiricism, and I don't hold to that.
Well, I would say empiricism and idealism. Maybe you claim you don't hold to it, but I believe that you're committed to it, and I believe that.
Okay, can you
the
demonstrate
argument
that?
can be-
Otherwise, you're just trying to mind read.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
Because of the fact that you are a subjective being that has no way to disambiguate between anything outside of yourself and anything within, quote unquote, within yourself. As a subjective being, you have no referent to determine that there is something beyond your mind. So really what you're experiencing is just mental projections.
Well, I have
Those mental
seemings, and those
projections-
seemings give me a justification.
Yeah, but those seemings have been wrong, and because they're wrong,
Just
they're
because seemings have been
epistemically
wrong doesn't mean
inaccurate.
that the principle of phenomenological conservatism is false.
No, I'm not saying that it is false. I'm saying that because of the fact that your seemings have been shown and proven to be false, that means that your seemings are unreliable. And the principle of phenomenological conservatism actually dictates and mandates that if you have something that you can break, that can break your seeming, then you should actually drop your seemings. So
Do
you've
you-
been in dreams before.
So do you hold that? Can you conceive of? Can you conceive of atheismo?
Well, that's a shift because this is an internal critique. It's not about my worldview. It's about your worldview.
Oh well,
as an
so
atheist.
my worldview rejects P1.
Yeah, but your worldview, you're committed to P1. because
No,
of
I'm
the
not.
reasons
I'm telling
I
you that
gave.
I'm not. I think that there are things that are conceivable which don't exist.
So you can think something, you can claim something, but
I can
if you're
conceive of
committed-
something, yeah, without it
Yeah, but if
existing.
you're but because of the reasons that I gave, you're committed to it.
The
That
reasons.
you-
Okay,
you
so
affirm-
what are the
Yeah.
reasons that you gave for why I should be committed to believing that, I don't know, unicorns exist? Because I can conceive of unicorns. Why am I committed to believing that unicorns exist?
Yeah, because you have no way to disambiguate between a mental projection and a quote unquote objective thing, right? You are a subjective being that has no access, no epistemic access to anything quote unquote, outside of themselves.
I think
all
that's
of
false.
your seemings,
by the way,
your experiences,
if I have no
everything
epistemic access to the external world, then external world skepticism is true. External world skepticism is false. Therefore, for modus tollens, I do have access to the external world.
Wait. So you're saying if it is the case that your epistemic tools do not have access to the external world, then
External world skepticism is true.
What does that mean?
It's
What do you mean
don't
by
know.
what do you
External
mean
world
by that?
skepticism is just that you have no reason to believe that the external world exists.
Okay, so if you have no reason to believe the external world exists, then why are you claiming it does?
But the external world does, or external world skepticism is false. Therefore, I do have reason to believe that the external world exists.
So how is it false? That's why I'm asking.
How is external world skepticism false? I at least have
what do you mean?
reason to think that it's false. Namely,
What's
I
the
have,
reasons?
for example, I have seemings, and those seemings give me justification justification, especially if there is no piece of evidence or that there is no argument to the contrary.
Yeah, but you're going back in a circle again. We already
Not a circle.
explained and
I'm just
demonstrated-
giving you the explanation for why I have reason to think that external world skepticism is false. For
Yeah,
why
but
I
I just
accept that
demonstrated-
premise.
But you asked me to demonstrate. I demonstrated for you that you've been in a dream before, you've hallucinated before, you've
Well,
thought you've
I
seen
don't know if
things
I've
that weren't
hallucinated
there.
before, but sure.
Maybe you've been sick enough too, right? You've had
don't
false
think I have.
memories before.
Sure,
You've seen
absolutely,
things that,
yep.
you know. So all of those things are true, and your seemings told you that they were true. They were real. That means
So seemings
that
are only
epistemic
good
tool-
insofar as there's nothing that debunks the seemings. But if there's nothing to debunk the seeming of external world, the seeming that the external world exists, then it seems like I have good reason to think that the external world exists.
Yeah, but I'm demonstrating that right now that you have.
But I
reasons
do
to
have,
believe that it doesn't
but I have seemings about the external world existing. So, like for example, what is the debunking argument, which is a technical term that I'm using here? What's the debunking argument for my seeming that my hand exists?
Yeah, the fact that your seeming has been wrong.
That doesn't address my seeming that
it's
the
a-
hand exists, right?
No, it addresses that your tool.
You're trying to
of
undermine
access to what
seemings,
is.
but seemings are the whole business of phenomenological conservatism is that it recognizes that seemings can be false, which is why seemings are only justification insofar as there's nothing that undermines the thing that seems to be true. And so in this case, is there something that undermines the fact that it seems like my hand exists?
Yes, because
what's the thing that undermines that? You're undermining some other thing. You're undermining my experience of a dream. You're not undermining my hand existing.
No. What I'm saying is that you have no idea whether or not you are in a dream right now. You can't tell. You can't disambiguate.
It definitely seems like my hand is real. So do I have? Is there some piece of evidence that would indicate that my hand is in fact not real?
Do you see the problem with your statement? That because it seems like your hand is real now, then you would be justified in saying that the dream world is actually real because it seemed like it was real.
Yeah, and it would seem like it was real unless, and you would have justification for thinking it's real unless you have something that debunks that. Like, for example, waking up. Waking up would debunk that view.
Waking up and then what? It's your seeming tells you that you've woken up and that you're in the real world, right?
Yeah.
So it's so circular.
It's not circular. These are different seemings.
Look, your seeming is telling you that you're not sleeping. Your seeming is telling you that you're actually awake.
These are separate seemings, right?
Right, and those separate seemings are completely arbitrary because
they're not arbitrary. They're just seemings.
Because they're completely opposite.
They're just seemings. They're not arbitrary.
No, my point is because you were in a dream, you thought it was real. That means you're justified.
So I was justified in thinking it was real during the dream, unless you have some reason to think otherwise. Sure.
So the only way you can determine whether or not they are not the same is what? Your seemings.
Well, seemings provide a ground level of justification. Yeah, you can find other justification if you want for other things.
It's a contradictory epistemic tool. It's telling you that what's
the
fake is real.
What's the P and not P?
Within the dream state, it's telling you. I'm telling you right now. Within the dream state, it is telling you that a fake experience, a mental projection, is real, whilst telling you at the same time as when you wake up that experience, that seeming, was also false.
That's equivocating.
It's telling you a seeming.
You're
telling you a seeming is real and a seeming is false.
So those are two separate seemings. So you're equivocating and calling them the same thing. They're two separate seemings.
It's a seeming of the same thing, of the same sort, of the same class.
They're two separate. They're two separate seemings. They just have they're two different experiences, right? They're two different seemings. Now, even though they're described, even though we use the same word to describe both of them, we use the same word to describe, I don't know, like a mathematically perfect circle, and then also a thing that you draw on a piece of paper. We call that a circle too, but they're not the same thing.
Yeah, but what we're talking about is the actual experience, the feeling, the phenomenological feeling that you have is exactly the same.
It's not the same because it's about different things.
It's the same. It's the same feeling. The feeling
is the same kind
real.
of feeling, but it's about something else, so they're different.
You would not say that you're seeming that you're in front of the phone right now talking to me is a real experience. I'm not in front of the phone. Okay, you would not tell me that you're seeming that you're having a conversation with somebody over the internet or over an app is any different than your seeming of that being real.
They both are the same kind of thing, but they're about different things. You understand the difference?
It wouldn't be but you wouldn't say that they're different seemings.
They
in
are.
The sense that
they're absolutely different seemings.
But it's about the same exact experience. You're still looking through your glasses. Your glasses are still on you. It's not
okay.
A
So I
seeming.
think that you're not tracking here.
I'm perfectly tracking.
I don't think so. The point is that you can have a seeming is like a kind of experience, right? It's a kind of phenomenon.
Yeah.
The seemings can be about things, and the seemings can be about different things. And if they're about different things, then they're different seemings. In the same way that like color is like a kind of phenomenal experience, but you can see red and you can see blue, and those are different colors.
Now imagine those two colors are exactly the same hex code. Now it's a ball and it's a tree. And it's exactly the same hex code.
Not analogous,
would you say because they are on different objects that they are different seemings?
You mean that they're different colors?
That they're different colors. Would you say that they're different colors?
But it's not analogous. It's not analogous because there's the seemings are about two different things. On the one hand, in the dream, the seeming is about the dream experience, the experiences of the dream. On the other hand, when you wake up, you have experiences about not the dream. You have some other kind of experience, maybe lying in bed or whatever it is. And so those are seemings about different things that can lead you to different conclusions.
No problem. We won't go down and be pedantic about that. Let's assume that, I don't mind granting it to you, let's assume that they are completely different seemings. They're different seemings about what? About the same feeling and sense, correct?
No, one is about a feeling about like lying in bed. The other is about a feeling of like flying or whatever.
No, one is a feeling that it is a real experience. It's real, it's true. And the other is a feeling that something else is true. These are two different experiences about two different worlds.
They're about different things. Yeah, they're different. They're different seemings.
Yeah, you have an experience that the mental state, the mental projection is real, and you have an experience that the non-mental projection is real. But you don't have a way to determine the ambiguation between the two. You have no way to tell which one is which.
Well, I have seemings. Seemings are some degree of justification.
So all you're saying is that all of your experiences, what you know to be true, is that you've had mental projections that were experiences, but you don't have a way to disambiguate to say this
seemings can do that
objective
for me.
world. But you don't have a way, you don't have an actual epistemic access because the one that you're relying
that's
on
a claim.
is known. It's
I think
known
that we
to
do
be
have
fallacious.
I think that we do have epistemic access, by the way. Not perfect epistemic access, but we do have epistemic access.
Okay. The tool that we have been referring to, that you've been referring to so far, has been seemings. That seeming has been known to be not reliable.
So it's not perfect.
And that means because
but it does
it's
give
not,
us access.
Yes. So because it's not. All right. So look at the problem. If you say something is not perfect, do you have a way to tell me what percentage accurate it is?
We can just evaluate the probability. We can just look at the probabilities and see how frequently it's been correct and how frequently it's been incorrect.
Probability is based on a standard. We're talking about.
What are you talking about? It's not based on a standard.
Things. Yes, it
it's
is.
Just, you can just use a frequent you can just use a frequentist analysis.
It's based on a standard of 0 to 100. That's what I mean by
it's based on a standard.
That's
just how we define probabilities. What are you talking about?
So if probabilities are based on a standard, a scale, you have a scale, right? You could be quote unquote 99% that close or accurate. You could be 1% accurate.
Yeah.
But the only way that you know that you're 1% or 99% is if you have a standard to base it upon.
I don't know what you mean by a standard to base it upon. You can just use frequentist analysis. You can just see how frequently your seemings line up with your other observations or your other experiences or your other ways of deriving truths about the world or your derivations that you can do mentally. Whatever you want, you can compare your seemings with those other factors and then come to conclusions about probability.
So you're comparing your seemings using an inductive method, which you know suffers from the problem
there's
of
nothing induction based there.
You said that you were trying to essentially map it onto what really is, quote unquote, right?
I don't think
what
I said
really
that
is,
either.
In so many words, that's what you said, that you're trying to
it's
map.
Not at all. It's certainly not what I meant, and it's not what I said.
Okay, no problem. Then explain what you mean by
what I mean is that we
there
can
being
use
a probability.
So we can take our seemings. So for example, I might have a seeming about a certain mathematical fact. I have some intuitions about it. I can think about it internally, and I can, it seems to me that XYZ thing is true. XYZ mathematical fact is true. Now, I don't know if that's genuinely true, but I will at least have some justification for believing that's true. But then if I then go prove that it's false, that will debunk my seeming. Or if I then go prove that it's true, that will then reinforce my seeming. And then we can do that 100 billion times, and we can come to a conclusion about how accurate, what the probability of my seemings being correct in the past were.
Using what?
Probability.
Because we're talking about
using a frequentist interpretation of probability. Yeah.
Okay, so how frequent this particular event shows in the quote unquote real world, correct?
No, we're talking about mathematics here, so this is like purely mental.
Oh, but that doesn't work then, because mathematics is analytical. Analytical truths are not objective truths, so you can't actually
analytical
use that
truths
as
by definition are objective truths.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they definitionally are.
Come on.
These are
you and I both know.
I mean, like, to be clear, I take the position that there are no non-mental truths, but presumably you mean that there's not that they are true and they're subject to change, right? When you say that the thing is subjective.
No, when I say it's subjective, it means that it stands dependent.
Oh, okay. Well, no, so mathematics is not it's not stance dependent.
It stands dependent.
What stance is it dependent on?
It's dependent on identity. Identity.
What do you mean? That's not a stance.
Identity is all about. Mathematics is all about identity, which is about permutations. Permutations happen within the mind. They are not something that happens outside of the mind.
Identity is about mathematics is about identity, and identity is about permutations.
Mathematics
this is like
all
gibberish.
About identity. No, it's not. You're trying to explain and trying to demonstrate.
Is your experience with mathematics did it stop at like calculus?
Hold hold on. You're trying to explain that mathematics is not stance dependent. That's your job, right?
Yep.
So for you to do that, you would have to demonstrate that mathematics is not based on and is not conditional or constituted by the mind, right?
No,
now,
that doesn't follow.
I'm demonstrating.
You can have stance independent things that are also that also exist solely within the mind.
How is that possible?
So there is a stance independent fact that beliefs exist, right?
Well, that's a contradiction. That's a contradiction to the definition. The definition of something that is objective is that it is stance independent.
It is objective that beliefs exist. It is stance independent that beliefs exist, and that can be deduced by the impossibility of the contrary, if you will. And yet, beliefs only exist in the mind.
Wait, so you're bastardizing the definition of objective right now, because objective means necessarily that it is stance independent.
Yes, it is stance independent. So it is stance independently true, regardless of what you believe. It is stance independently true that beliefs exist.
That was a bad example because beliefs are based on the subject.
I know it's still
still
stance independently true that beliefs exist. That's still true.
No, that's not stance. That statement, that proposition, does not exist unless you infer it or interpolate it into existence.
Sure, but that doesn't depend on any stances.
That interpolation is based on your stance.
So the negation of that statement is self-falsifying. So it's not stance dependent. It just exists in minds. You're confusing existing within minds and being stance independent.
I'm not confusing anything.
Okay, so then why are you confusing stance independent with existing within minds? Because you can have things that exist within minds that are not stance independent or that are not stance dependent.
That's just a claim. In your claim,
I gave you an example. I gave you an example of the statement beliefs exist. That is, or we can even say beliefs exist in the mind if you want to be more specific. But beliefs exist, and so that the negation of that statement is self-falsifying. Meaning, if you believe that beliefs don't exist, you have a belief about the lack of beliefs. So it's self-falsifying that beliefs don't exist. Now, it is true that beliefs exist in the mind. I don't think that beliefs exist out there in the universe. They exist in the mind, but the fact that beliefs exist is stance independent, meaning that it is impossible, that there is no stance that it depends on for getting its truth.
That's absolutely not true.
Okay, so what stance could you change to make that statement, beliefs don't exist, true?
See, the problem is that you're making claims with assumptions, and you're not realizing that within your claim you're talking about a proposition.
I am talking about a proposition. You're right.
Yes, and propositions themselves are all necessarily stance dependent.
Prove it.
So when you say
prove it. Hold on, prove it.
Because if I wasn't here, I couldn't make the proposition.
That doesn't mean it's stance independent or stance dependent. Whether or not,
is exactly what it means.
I agree. Propositions only exist in the mind. That doesn't make them stance dependent. This is like the most brain-dead confusion of mental dependence and stance dependence I've ever heard.
What do you think this objective means?
So it depends on how you're using it. It sounds like you're using it to mean stance independent. Often it's used to mean mind independent, but you're using it to mean stance independent.
And what do you think that stance independence is?
It means that depending on your attitudes towards certain propositions, or perhaps certain proto-propositions or certain sentences, the truth or falsity of some proposition can change.
So by way of definition, that is absolutely true. My conclusion.
Okay, what stance, what attitude can you change? What attitude can you change towards a proposition or some proto-proposition or some sentence that implies the falsity of the statement that beliefs exist?
Beliefs don't exist.
Okay, so now, so are you saying that you're affirming true contradictions?
No, I'm affirming
because if you have an attitude towards the proposition, if you believe that beliefs don't exist is true, then that's a belief that you have.
No, what I'm affirming is that propositions things in quote unquote, because it's not about my worldview, things can be described contradictorily. I can describe something and say beliefs exist, beliefs do not exist. Those are just statements, and those statements are based on my stances. But for you to
be clear, the statement beliefs do not exist is self-defeating, right?
Let me just land it. For you to claim that beliefs exist objectively, as if outside of your mind you're
I didn't say outside of your mind.
Transcendent.
I didn't say outside of your mind. I never said anything was outside of your mind. I never said that.
Outside of your stance.
Right, outside of your stances. The point is whether or not it's true that beliefs exist is independent of your stances about whether or not beliefs exist.
That's only because you have a hidden assumption.
What's the hidden assumption?
Is that the hidden assumption is that there is some distinction between your mind and a quote-unquote external world, which you haven't
It's
demonstrated.
completely unrelated to that,
look,
by the way.
You can just concede this because this is not
It's
even something that we
completely
should argue about.
unrelated.
Philosophers all know this. Like, this is
You're
not
right.
something that's even
Philosophers
debatable.
all know that statements like
Yes.
beliefs don't exist are self-defeating. Philosophers all recognize that we can learn about the world around us using our
Yeah, but
sense data, in
philosophers
fact.
But philosophers do not claim that beliefs being true, quote unquote, is objective. Nobody does that.
I don't know what you mean
And if
by
they
beliefs
do,
being
then
true.
they're
I was
just
talking
being
about
disingenuous.
the statement beliefs exist is obviously true, and philosophers all accept this.
The statement beliefs being exist has to map onto reality in order for it to be objective.
It's a
In order
statement
for it
about
to be-
minds. It's a statement about minds. It's not a statement about external reality.
Regardless, it's a okay, so it's a statement about whose mind?
At least
Because
my mind. Maybe you don't. Maybe yours doesn't exist.
So okay, so it's a statement about your mind, which makes it stance dependent.
No, it's
You
not.
see-
Wait, its truth
Oh my
does
God.
not depend
You
on
just
any
demonstrated
stances.
You literally just
Wait, you're so
demonstrated it.
confused. You think that stance dependent and mind dependent are the same thing?
I think that they are analogous. Yes, they're absolutely.
They're obviously not. There can be things that exist solely within the mind, and yet could not change their truth value regardless of what your stances are.
Okay, without just a claim with no substantiation.
I gave you an example of this. It's not even with no substantiation. I gave you an
wasn't even a good
example.
example.
It's a
That
perfect
wasn't even a
example
good
because it completely
example. I hope-
undermines
I
the
hope
claim
it's
that you're
being
making.
clear. That wasn't even a good example.
It's a perfect
can't-
example because
all
whether or
it
not,
is the claim.
regardless of your stances, it is true that beliefs exist, right?
What all your example did was provide a hidden assumption that
Okay, what's the hidden
universe-
assumption?
The external world exists.
How does that play? How
was
does that
a-
play? How
was
does
a
that
part-
play into the truth of whether or not beliefs exist?
Because that's what you're supposed to be proving. You're supposed to be proving that the
Oh, I'm
external
sorry.
world exists. You can't
So you
assume
think
that it exists
so just because we were
within your
talking about something
statement.
earlier, you think that thing is now somehow assumed in the claim that I'm making that beliefs exist?
It is. You said
It's
that beliefs
completely
exist.
unrelated. You could be an external world skeptic. You could be a solipsist, and it would still be true that beliefs exist.
Okay, hold on. Let's take it back to what you just said, right? You said that beliefs exist. If beliefs exist, and you claimed that it exists only within your mind, at least, because you can't prove it outside of yourself.
Yep.
Then by definition, because what you already claimed or what you already agreed to is that stance dependence means that it is dependent upon some mind, some stance.
No, that's not what stance dependent means.
Okay, so then you're going
So
to
you're
describe
like
the
just
two different
strawmanning me, I guess.
No, it's fine. Within your worldview, what is the difference between mind dependence and stance dependence?
Yeah, mind dependence means that these things require a mind to exist, which is obviously true about beliefs. Beliefs exist in minds. Stance dependence means that in order for a proposition to be true or false, it depends on some set of attitudes towards some other proposition or sentence or proto-proposition.
All right, here's the killer. Can stances exist without minds?
No, stances are also mind dependent.
Thank you.
Stances are mind dependent. Beliefs are
so
mind
if
dependent,
stances-
but beliefs are not stance dependent, or the existence of beliefs are not stance dependent.
Wait a second.
These are
If
subsets
stances
and
hold on.
non-overlapping subsets.
If stances cannot exist without minds, then what you just demonstrated is that there's no difference between the two.
This is so embarrassing. This is so embarrassing. Okay,
It's
hold
not
on. I'll show you why it's
embarrassing for you.
embarrassing. I'll show you why it's
It's embarrassing for you.
Your argument is P1, stances depend on a mind. P2, the statement beliefs exist depends on a mind. Conclusion, the statement beliefs, or we could call it the proposition if you want. Proposition, just if we want to be formal here.
You're digging the hole deeper. There's no
proposition
point to
beliefs
even argue
exist.
about this. We know that it's the same
Beliefs
thing.
exist. Depends on a stance. What's the inference rule here? Because this is the argument you're making.
Looks like modus tollens to me.
Modus tollens. Okay, so modus tollens requires that one of your premises is an implication. Neither of these are implications. So
okay.
Where's the modus tollens?
Okay, so do I have it wrong? You can just tell me
Yes,
if I'm wrong. I don't
this is
mind.
an incorrect conclusion. The conclusion does not follow from the premises. This is invalid.
Oh, okay, so it's an invalid argument. Which, by
Yes.
the way, we can discuss
This is an
that later.
invalid argument.
But this was not my argument. You're just
This is
presenting
absolutely your argument.
own
Your argument is that
here.
because stance is dependent on mind, and also the proposition beliefs exist depends on a mind. Therefore, the proposition beliefs exist depends on a stance. It's just obviously false.
Hold on. We're gonna read through this because I want to make sure I'm correcting you. My P1 is this: that stances, the difference. There's no difference between a stance dependence, and mind dependence.
Oh,
To
okay,
say
I reject that.
Those two. To say stance dependence and to say mind dependence is exactly the same thing.
Okay, I reject that.
There's no difference.
That's
because
that,
what you
I
already,
don't think that's
what
true.
you already agreed to is that you cannot have stances without a mind.
Yep.
So without.
But you can have minds without stances.
Without being disingenuous and being honest about this whole thing.
You can have minds without stances. You can have multiple stances in one mind.
So you can have a mind without stances, fine. A person could be brain dead. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that.
No, you can have minds without stances. You can have multiple stances within a single mind. Stances and minds are not the same thing.
I'm saying the claim that subjective means stance dependence and the claim that subjective means mind dependent is really no different.
Oh, they're very different.
There's no difference
And
between the two.
We can establish this. We can establish this.
And all you have said is you've made claims that there can be a mind without a stance and there can be a stance without a mind.
Means
but then you conceded. Hold on, but then you conceded by saying you can't
P1,
have a stance without a mind.
Subjective
So you were
means
wrong.
mind dependent. P2, subjective means stance dependent. Conclusion: minds are stances. You can't have these two different definitions are incompatible. They're not the same thing.
What I'm claiming is the definition. It still denotes essentially the same thing.
Oh, we're weakening it now. We're doing a Mott and Bailey. We're pulling away from saying they are the same thing to now they're essentially the same thing. Well, the difference between they are the same thing and they are essentially the same thing is precisely that you can have some propositions that are not stance dependent, but still mind dependent. And I gave you an example.
You already conceded that you can't have stances without minds.
Yeah.
So what is the argument?
The argument is that you can have beliefs that don't depend on your stances.
How's that? I want you to demonstrate a belief.
Yeah, I just
a
gave
belief
you one.
that does not depend upon a stance.
Yeah, so the truth of the claim, beliefs exist, is independent of my attitudes towards propositions, which is what a stance is.
Okay, I'm going to look this up to make sure that we're being very accurate. Because what else should we be doing but that, right? Okay. Yes. All right, so the meaning of stances, it's the way a person positions their body. Well, this is
you want a philosophical definition of stance, is what you want.
Positions their intellect or their moral viewpoint on a specific topic. Would you accept that definition?
No, in the philosophical language, you would want to say it's an attitude towards a proposition or a proto-proposition or a sentence.
Okay, so an attitude towards a proposition. So you don't think that beliefs require attitudes towards propositions?
Beliefs can be attitudes towards propositions.
So you just conceded.
Nope.
So that's it.
You're just not
so
tracking.
Why are we arguing?
Because the proposition is beliefs exist. It's not the proposition
Can you have a belief?
I believe X. Because the truth of the proposition I believe X, that depends on my stances. It depends on whether or not I believe X, right? But the proposition here is beliefs exist. Or there exist beliefs, however you want to phrase it.
Can you have
and that's stance independent.
Hold on. Can you have a belief without a proposition?
Sure.
How?
I mean, you can have beliefs about sentences that are non-propositional.
You can have beliefs about sentences that are non-propositional. You're gonna have to demonstrate that.
Yeah. So a sentence like this sentence is false. You could have an attitude towards that. You could think that it's like meaningful or it's not meaningful, or you could think that it is, like a nonsense. You could think that it's actually totally valid. All of these are beliefs, but they're not necessarily attitudes about propositions.
What all you just described was a bunch of beliefs.
Yeah, we're talking about yeah, exactly. We're talking about beliefs that are not about propositions.
No, I said, can you have a belief about something that is non-propositional? It's not a proposition.
So this sentence is false is non-propositional.
That's a proposition.
No, it's non-propositional.
What do you mean it's non-propositional?
It's non-propositional.
Okay,
it doesn't have a truth value.
You're just mucking up the waters, and you know that is a proposition.
No, it's not a proposition. I'm sorry. If it's a proposition, what's its truth value?
It is definitionally.
What's the truth value?
It is definitionally a proposition.
What's the truth value?
It doesn't matter. It could be true or false. It doesn't matter.
Can it? So if it's true, what does that imply?
Yeah. Yeah. If it's true, then that implies that it's true.
Wait, but if it's true, then the sentence, if the sentence, this sentence is false is true, what does that imply?
Hold on a second. I'm gonna look up proposition for you, and I'm gonna read the exact.
Oh, he doesn't know.
for you.
He doesn't know. Hold
there's
on.
no way-
Can a proposition?
there's no way to run
does a
away from
proposition
this.
have a truth
There's
value?
no way.
Does a proposition have a
There's
truth
no
value?
way to run away from this.
Does a proposition have a truth value?
Every proposition has.
Okay,
truth
so
values.
if the proposition,
Every
if the
single
statement,
proposition has
if the
truth values.
statement, this proposition is true, is a proposition, then it has a truth value. So if it has a truth value, then it's either true or false. Actually, we can just formalize this. Here,
Exactly.
we're just going to formalize this.
A proposition is a
hold on.
formal
Shut up for a
offer.
second.
Do you accept
if the
that?
proposition,
Do you accept that definition?
If the proposition, or if the statement, I should say, or if the sentence, this proposition, or this sentence is false, rather, is a proposition, then it has a truth value. P2. We're just going to assume your position here, P2. The sentence.
Yep. This sentence is true.
This sentence is
This
false.
sentence is false.
Is a proposition.
Has a truth value. Yep.
Conclusion. This sentence is false. Is either true or false. And then we have P3. If this sentence is false, is true, then this sentence is false, is false. P4, if this sentence is false, then this sentence is false, is true. Conclusion. Conclusion. This sentence is false, is neither true nor false. P5, if a sentence is neither...
invalid argument. It's invalid. And not only is it invalid, you actually concede in your first.
Actually, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. This is not valid.
Thank you.
So
at least you're honest.
Premise 5, neither P3 nor P4 are true.
Now, the first syllogism that you provided there, that concedes my argument. That is a concession to my argument.
This one?
You're conceding. Yes,
I'm
that's
granting
conceding
P1 and showing that you get a contradiction. Yeah. So I guess actually the conclusion here is P3 and P4 jointly are, sorry, both P3 and P4 are false.
So first of all, that's an invalid argument. Second of all,
no. This is
the first syllogism is clearly
the conclusion follows just from the law of non-contradiction. Actually,
the first syllogism.
It's just a statement.
It's clearly a concession to the argument.
The second, I'm granting the second sentence to show why it leads to a contradiction.
It doesn't lead to a contradiction. You had to add additional things in there.
P3 and P4 follow from this statement, from the conclusion that you lead to. So P3 is a contradiction. This is a contradiction.
What a lot of people don't understand that I understand
is also a contradiction.
These are nested propositions, and when you do truth values with nested propositions, you mucky everything up and make it very confusing for a lot of people.
I get that it's confusing for you. I know that you're trying to generalize it about a lot of people instead of yourself, but this is like a standard exercise.
These are nested propositions.
Obviously, this is a standard exercise.
No, this is whether it's standard or not. The fact that
I get you're not tracking.
The fact that you have concluded that this sentence is false is either true or false. Actually, that's a dual proposition, and you're mucking it up.
I mean, we agreed that propositions have truth values. So if the sentence this sentence is false is a proposition, then it's either true or false. Those are the truth values, right?
No, because these are nested and dual propositions, it's confusing things. So what you need to do is,
I know it's confusing.
What you need to do is you need to simplify it much better.
You want me to simplify it for you? Okay, I can simplify it for you.
Because you're adding, look, if this
is already pretty simple.
This sentence is false. If this sentence is false, is a proposition, then it has a truth value. That's a true statement. We agree.
I agree with premise one. Premise one is true.
Okay, so if it is a proposition, so now your claim is that this sentence is false, is a proposition.
I'm sorry, you don't understand.
That's a true statement.
You don't understand.
That's a true statement.
I don't think that P2 is true. I'm using P2 to show that you get to a contradiction.
Okay, wait.
You think that P2 is true.
No, we're going to break P2 down. We're going to break it down. Yep. This sentence is false, is a proposition. Now, your claim that it's not a proposition, definitionally, is contradictory. So by way
how
of
is it contradiction? What's the contradiction?
because I'm appealing to the definition, and the definition of a proposition is a formal offer or suggestion or idea presented to someone for consideration. That is
no, I'm sorry, that's not the philosophical definition of a proposition.
Oh, so you have to change the definition in order for your
we're
statement
talking
to be
about
true.
Analytic philosophy here. I don't know why you keep appealing to colloquial definitions. This seems
so,
really low
so
tier.
What's your definition? What's your definition?
A proposition is a sentence that has a truth value.
A sentence that has a truth value.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so what's a sentence?
A sentence is a string of words that has semantic meaning.
Ah, a string of words that has semantic meaning.
Yeah.
So if it has semantic meaning, can anything with meaning have truth value? Is it truth apt? Anything with meaning?
Not necessarily. I gave you an example.
Oh, so if it has so if it has meaning, then it can't be truth apt. That's your claim.
No, that's also not my claim. That's a cool straw man. I didn't say that it can't. Literally, let's do it again. So you said, and we agreed on this. I hope we agreed on this.
Something that has meaning by definition means
that
it has truth value.
It is not the case that just because. Why is my A key working? God.
See
just
how
because
much
a sentence,
the atheist has to
just
do
because
to
a
get
sentence
around God.
has meaning, it is not the case that just because a sentence has meaning that it has a truth value. And then you said, for some reason,
is absolutely the case. Meaning, what is meaning?
Hold on. You said that this is equivalent to or that anything that doesn't have meaning doesn't have a truth value? Or actually, no, I'm sorry. You said that everything that has meaning has no truth value. That's what you said, and that's just like confused.
No, nope. I said everything that has meaning is truth apt. Everything that has meaning is truth apt. It can be
apparently not.
In terms of
this sentence is false. Is that truth apt?
Every single sentence is truth apt.
Show that the sentence this sentence is false is truth apt.
Because the sentence this sentence is false has semantic content. It's got meaning.
Yep.
Therefore, it necessarily means that it is purposeful, that it is a message that's communicated, and that communication is about something being true or false. Every single proposition.
Prove it. You're just assuming that just because it has meaning, it's about something being true or false.
Yes. All language.
Okay.
All
so
language
then,
falls into two different sets.
So is it true or false?
Hold on. I'm going to explain it to you.
Is this sentence is false? Is that sentence true or false?
Hold on. I'm going to explain it to you. All language is either truth, is either a proposition or an explanation about the truth, or it's truth seeking. So it's either inquiry or you are presenting a claim, something about something which is either true or false. It's a claim. You're saying something is the case or something is not the case. That's all language. That's all language. You cannot find any language that does not follow this script.
This sentence is false.
Chinese,
which
doesn't matter what language it is.
This sentence is false is a valid sentence, right? So
it's a valid sentence that has meaning.
So how does it? What is it? If it's truth apt, that means that it seeks truth.
That means,
is it true
that
or
means
is it false?
That whatever this is referring to, it's giving a claim about that particular.
Yeah, it's self-referential. It's referring to itself.
So is it referring to itself, or is it referring to anything? Because it's not.
No, it's referring to itself.
How do you know that?
That's what the sentence means.
When
I say this sentence is long, what I'm saying is that the sentence that I just spoke has a lot of words in it. When I say that this interlocutor is a dumbass, I'm referring to the interlocutor that I'm engaging with.
So then you're referring to yourself, just like your example?
Cool. I'm rubber, you're glue. What you said about me reflects off of me and bounces back to you.
Come on, you set it up. You set it up for me. Come on, you set it up.
Well, I mean, I referred to this interlocutor, right?
Yeah, and you could be referring to somebody other than that.
Well, you're my interlocutor. I'm not my interlocutor. But my point is.
Okay, so then this can refer to something other than itself.
Right, the meaning of this.
So it's non-contextual.
Okay, so why don't we say
this is all semantics.
By the way, this can be formalized.
All semantics.
By the way, this can be formalized. So we can formalize this sentence is false kind of thing. We can absolutely formalize that. We could say that define A as the sentence. This sentence is false, and then the claim is that sentence. So we can do something like this: A equals this. A equals the sentence. This sentence is false, right? And then we just say A equals not A, right?
By the way, you do realize this is your way of getting out of
why can't I do that?
Proving there's an external world. You know that, right? Like, you have to do all of this rabbit hole digging.
I mean, hey, you started it when you confused what subjective meant.
No, I didn't confuse anything. I used.
You definitely did. You're pivoting now because you've clearly been eliminated from this whole conversation about whether or not you can have stance independent mental sentences.
No, that stances
objects.
depend on minds. That was my point.
Stances obviously depend on minds, but not all things that exist in minds are stance dependent.
And that was something you could not substantiate.
I did substantiate for you. I did. We talked about it. You can go rewatch the replay.
You gave me a proposition.
I showed you how I showed you how the negation is self-defeating.
So if something, okay. So you think that and this is your claim, right? That if a proposition can be shown to be either true or false, that means that it has no semantic content and
never said that. Never said that.
No truth aptness.
Never said that. Then. I literally never said that. You're just not tracking.
No truth aptness. Yes? You accept that?
No, you're not tracking.
Okay, so you don't accept that.
No.
What are you saying about the statement, this sentence is false? If that proposition...
What I'm saying is that is not a proposition. It's non-propositional. It's a sentence that is not a proposition. Not all sentences are propositions. All propositions are sentences.
Yeah, I have a major problem with the way that you redefine things. Because
I'm not redefining things. This is super standard.
Oh, you absolutely are. Propositions clearly, by every single metric and standard and every single definition, it is a formal offer, suggestion, or idea presented to someone for consideration. You are pretending as if proposition doesn't have that meaning.
It's literally not how it's used in like when we talk about this.
What is it?
Here, let me pull up the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, and we can just look at it together if you want.
Yeah, please give me your proprietary definition.
It's not proprietary. We're just going to rely on the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, and we'll read it together. And maybe you'll be right, maybe I'll be wrong.
Okay.
Fair. Okay. So here we have. This is the Stanford Encyclopedia on Philosophy. Hopefully you can see this.
Yep.
The term proposition has broad use in contemporary philosophy. It is used to refer to some or all of the following: the primary bearers of truth value, so these are things that have truth, the objects of belief and other propositional attitudes, what is believed, doubted, etc., the references of that clauses, and the meanings of sentences. So I'm using that first definition.
Oh, no.
The primary bearers of truth values.
You have to use the whole definition. You cannot.
It says it is used to refer to some or all of the following, so I'm referring to some, that one.
Oh, so you only want to cherry pick.
That's how I'm using the word. I'm distinguishing propositions from sentences so that we can have a meaningful dialogue about the difference.
But that's not meaningful. That's just being disingenuous.
It's not disingenuous. I'm using a specific part of the definition. It says it refers to some or all, and I'm using some.
Look, all you're doing is you are, in order to support your worldview and to refrain from having this cognitive dissonance.
It says it here.
Having this cognitive
propositions, we shall say, are the shareable objects of attitudes and the primary bearers of truth and falsity.
Even if I grant you that we're only going to look at that one small part of the definition.
It says it right there.
What is it? Yeah, let's look at it.
Here we go. This stipulation rules out certain candidates for propositions, including thought and utterance tokens, which presumably are not shareable, and concrete events or facts, which presumably cannot be false. These consequences fit well with contemporary usage. Our definition leaves open many of the questions dividing propositionalists. Which additional roles or propositions fit to play? Blah, 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 blah. Would propositions have to be mind independent or abstract? What individuation conditions can they have? How would they relate to facts? We examine these issues below. There's a whole article on this.
No, I got a call.
But the business is that we're talking about things that are the primary bearers of truth and falsity.
Yeah, so I got a call right there, but I want to go back up. I want to go back up to the definition, because the definition, the part that you wanted to take out, the part
that's talked about in this article,
primary bearers of truth value, right? The primary bearers of truth value is the only thing you want to look at.
Yeah,
right?
That's how it's used in this article.
Okay, so what does that mean exactly? The primary bearer
it's a kind of object. You can call it a sentence if you want. That can have truth or false, or truth or falsity.
Okay, so a primary bearer of truth value, it's just basically not giving me the definition, because the whole point was the whole point of
it's not giving you a definition.
Yeah, because the whole point of us investigating.
Do you not understand what a bearer of truth and falsity is?
No, the whole point of us investigating this was I came to the conclusion, and
you were Googling it using like the colloquial definition.
Regardless, I came to.
That's just not how philosophers define the thing.
I claimed that all propositions are truth apt, and because all propositions
by definition, all propositions are. We're not talking about propositions. We're talking about sentences.
Yeah, and sentences are propositions.
No,
it can't be a sentence if it's not a proposition.
only
It cannot be a
only
sentence.
sentences that are bearers of truth and falsity are propositions.
Okay.
And they
you're
have to be
using
shareable
a
objects of the
very
attitudes.
You're using a different set of definitions.
I'm using
to
the
weasel out of
the
it.
way it's
And
defined
that-
philosophically.
and-
If you came unarmed for a
philosophically-
philosophical conversation, that's on you. That's not on me.
No, the way that you're using it is in a way where it just conveniently. It's you know what it's like. It's like yeah, you know what I'm gonna say. It's basically like what you're
No,
doing.
you're just complaining.
No, you're clearly special pleading.
I'm
You're
just
special pleading. You're
using
saying-
the standard philosophical definition. This is
Yeah,
not
that's what
hard. This is not special
so
pleading.
The standard, look, the standard definition, if that's what you're saying, which by the way, I don't even
This is
agree
on
with you.
the this is on the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy.
By the way, that definition did not say that propositions are not truth apt. It did not say that. It said
Propositions
that
are
they have truth
definitionally truth apt. That's part of bearing. That's part of bearing truth and falsity.
Exactly, and that's
Yeah,
why
propositions
it's a proposition.
obviously are that.
Because
Sentences
the
are not
sentence that you
necessarily.
gave me, the sentence that you gave me was truth apt. That's
Oh,
why.
well, if it's truth apt, then it can have truthness, or it can be true, or it can be false.
Exactly.
So which one is it?
So it's nothing to argue about.
Wait, which one is it?
It can have truth. It can have truth or falsity.
Which one is it?
It has truth. It has truth. It's
okay.
true.
So it's true that the sentence is false?
It's true that the sentence is false. Yep.
Okay. So then it's true that it's false.
Oh, there you go. So it's yes.
So
it has
A is
truth
true
apt.
and A is false?
It's true. Yep. A is true.
And it's false.
And then I didn't. And
Right?
I can't say it at the same time. So both of them are. Yeah. Yeah.
So A is true
absolutely.
and
It's
A is
true.
false.
A is true.
Okay,
and
so
then A
I
is
think that
false.
we've reduced you to affirming contradictions. So take care, I suppose. That was easy. Bro was not ready. Okay, I guess. I guess he was just ready. I mean, I would have kept him on for longer for more content, but I am 20 minutes over my normal live time, so we can't keep farming him for content forever. All right, let's read some super chats and we'll call it a day. From Christian Engstrom with the 27 Swedish kroners. Let's take 1 second to thank guests for a good clip. Indeed, let's do it. From Godwin with the $2. Dumb people are cocksure, smart people are full of doubt. There you go. From Bryn X Voldaren with the $10. Am I wrong in thinking that both arguments are technically non-falsifiable? If an omnipotent God can do anything, definitively proving or disproving their existence isn't possible. No, not necessarily. Like there are attributes that you can assign to God that would then therefore make the God not provably non-existent. From Grimmy with the $5. When you fall in a dream, 'tis a very different seeming as when you're awake. That's true. From C-Bar with the $2, you've run a particularly great show today. Well, thank you. That's very sweet. Yeah, I think today was a pretty good one. We'll have to do some uploads today. From Fio Games with the $10, P1, anything which can be conceived of exists. P2, the universe without God is conceivable. Conclusion, the universe without God exists. We should reject P1 since it being true leads to contradictions. Yeah, so that's what I was getting at with the unicorns, but he didn't want to, he wanted me to engage with his argument, which I'm happy to do charitably. From a Barnabas with the $2, this guy probably thinks all men are Socrates. That's what okay, I'm glad that you brought that up because I thought I was going crazy. I wasn't able to explain what I was talking about, but he was reversing, he was affirming the consequent, right? Or kind of. He wasn't affirming the consequent, he was reversing the, he was reversing the subset definition. It was very weird. From a Barnabas again with the $5. It's wild for the Philbro to say, look at how far into the weeds you have to get, right? He started it. From Punctuated Equilibrium with $5. Is the phrase 7 is heavier than 2 truth apt? Spoiler, it's not. That's a good point too. From Christopher Sanford with the £5. All thumbs are fingers, not all thumbs are not all fingers are thumbs. Color. Whoa, why do you have to keep redefining every word? That's a fair point. All right, let me just double check for any cash apps or anything like that. Okay, so that one's confirmed. We already got that one. So thank you very much, Shay, again. I think that is... Oh, what's this? Ooh. Yes. I think I just got Magic the Gathering proxies in the mail. Rad. Love it. All right, well, that's all I have for you guys today. I will be live again tomorrow around the same time. We'll be talking atheism rather than creationism, but it ends up being the same thing anyway. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Let's see if there's anybody that I can send you over to raid. Who is live right now? I'll send you over to the Bible guy. The Bible guy is really chill. So go over to the Bible guy. Enjoy. Oh, I didn't think you read my $5 supers. That's all right. Have a good one. Oh, I'm sorry, Dexter. Let me look for it. I'm so sorry. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Okay, I saw that one. That one's from Dexter. I don't want to leave anybody hanging. Dexter, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Now I feel bad. All right, well, I will see you guys tomorrow for some more atheist content. And until then, go check out the, well, first go raid the Bible guy, but also make sure to check out my website. My website's pretty rad, and I need more people to take a look at it, because then you can figure out all the ways that you can support me if you want to. It's pretty easy to get to. Just go to blitz.phd, no .com, just .phd at the end. And I'm actually, like, even though I didn't code it myself, I made Claude do it. I'm actually pretty proud of this website. It has like a whole bunch of stuff about my research and about, you know, the stuff that I do online. And in particular over here, if you want to support me, there's a way to do that. It's over down by the river, down over here, Patreon and Cash App and stuff. So consider doing it, or check out the rest of my website. There's also a contact me if you want to contact me about anything.